moralist.
Up around and find out.
Up yours. Woke moralist.
They seem animalistic is what I mean.
No, they're worse than animals.
The woke mob, they ruin everything.
They stop Ben Shapiro from going to events and speaking. They stop Ann Coulter from doing it.
I will never surrender even a single inch of ground to a pitchfork mob.
You never cave to the mob.
We will never bow to the mob. Ever. No matter what.
Do you see the final expression of cancel culture in terrorist groups like
Up yours.
We'll see who cancels who.
Yours, woke moralist.
Hello.
Hey, how's it
Hey,
going,
everybody.
everyone?
Hi.
How
So,
you doing?
yeah, it's nice to see everyone. I just real quick before the show starts, we have some really bad news. We have decided to replace David Dole with Jen Perlman.
I don't know. I'm not quite the Canucky. You know what I mean? Don't you need that like northern perspective in here? I don't know.
Yeah, we need the Canadian representation.
Yeah.
That is how Canadians talk, though. We all say Kanaki. We say that to each other.
Do
Hey,
you? Well,
Kanaki.
that's what one
Yeah.
of my close friends Canadian, and I just always say that.
Is that really a thing, Lance?
No, I'm being sarcastic.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure. I don't know what you guys do up in Canada.
I don't
nothing.
know. I just in South Florida, there's a lot we get a lot of snowbirds. We get a lot of people, usually French Canadians, but I don't know. And
Oh,
then
terrible.
my in-laws live in Vancouver, and then there's the Canucks, and so I don't know. I guess I just started calling the Canuckies. I don't know. Maybe that's just all in my head. I don't know.
Well, David Dole is actually sick this week. He'll be back next week. Rebecca will be here in a moment. She is getting off of work right now. But thankfully, we have Jen here. And Jen had an announcement lately, or recently, I should say. Jen, let's not bury the lead.
Yeah.
What the hell are you doing?
Well, also
So-
get Jen to plug all of her socials, too.
Yeah.
Oh, and everything should be in the description because it was sent over by now. I have people now. There's people that actually want to help me after like the first time it was just like me and Peter and like a ragtag. So I am challenging Debbie Wasserman Schultz again down here in Florida's 25th. It is in a Democratic primary. I know a lot of people are very, very averse to the Democrats. I am not really a big fan myself, but I live in Broward County, Florida, and we have closed primaries and a 14% voter turnout. And if you do the math, it's the only way to strategically do this.
Yeah.
So it is what it is. So, but yeah, I mean, my issues and policies are kind of all over in so many different ways. But it's always with the same mission. It just depends on what the subject is. Like, I'm here for the least of these. I'm here for service, right? So I'm like policy fluid, depending on what works for the most amount of people at the time, like that's best for people. So yeah, that's basically what we're doing. So yes, I'm running as a
That's
Democrat, but I am not I'm not one of their people. Let me just say that they're not going to be happy about me. That they're not. Yeah. So yes, I know people are not psyched on them right now. That's all.
I mean, the goal is to defeat Debbie Wasserman Schultz, and the way you do that is running in a Democratic Party primary. So that's what you want
Also,
to do.
it's realistic, right? Like, you have a way better chance of getting elected if you actually become the Democratic candidate. So
You have to here. There's
Exactly.
no.
Right.
I mean, we're like a plus. I don't like plus 12 at least, and it's. I mean, it's just not going to happen. Like it. Like this is the only way to. I've been crunching these numbers for the better part of 15 years. People need to understand that. So it's not like I'm just, oh, let's just try this. It's no, this is the way it has to be done. And we've been strategizing on this for a few years. And there's a lot of things in play that are different than last time. I think that Debbie is going to be in for a very big surprise this time around. And I think you'll all be very entertained as to what is coming. So I feel very encouraged.
Yeah, I am too. The last time that you ran in 2020, you were campaigning and I felt like you were crushing it. And then COVID hit. And then you had to adapt your strategy because for those who don't know, Jen, she doesn't take corporate PAC money and stuff like that. So she has to raise money through grassroots fundraising. It's like a door knocking campaign. It's very grassroots. And so once the pandemic hit, they had to adjust and that set them back. And so now where you kind of have like this normal campaign again. Yeah. I mean, COVID's still here, obviously, but like you can do what you are good at. And I think that having an actual like real race against Debbie, where you're not kind of kneecapped, I'm excited about it. Like
Yeah.
I'm gonna be cautiously optimistic, but I'm optimistic. And even if like this is gonna be an uphill battle, just like it makes me smile thinking that Debbie Wasserman Schultz right now is like coping and seething. She's really mad that she has a primary challenger.
Yeah, I actually know for a fact that she's freaking out. She was freaking out like the day before we officially announced, because I guess once it's on the FBC, like it's public, so she probably has somebody regularly check. I don't know, but I know she's freaking out. And the best part about it is, like, seriously, like I have nothing to lose. Nothing. I have nothing to lose. I can just go like balls to the wall. I am just so enraged right now, and I am just going for it. And the thing is, I will be living rent free in her head for the next 5 months, whether I win or lose. And that just pleases me to no end. And after this, something's going to happen. I'll end up getting demonetized because she'll have one of her Marsha moments. And, that'll be that. But no, I mean, it's about the message. It's about the service. It's about being out and spending 5 months spreading the message, being on national platforms, talking with you guys, like putting out what I'm about and what I'm fighting for, because at the end of the day, that can keep going. Like we kept our whole platform going after the first campaign, turned it into our podcast, still did service. And, that's what's building momentum. So, that's one of the biggest problems, I think, is the campaign paradigm is so candidate focused that it doesn't ever encompass any other part of our mission, right? Like you're not really moving anything forward. And so then if you lose, then that's it, you go away and no one ever hears from you again. And the whole momentum is just gone. And I just think that we can't get out of our own way enough. So we do service-based campaigns, we build coalition, and we just keep it going. And I just think that's the most organic way to do this.
Yeah, I agree. One thing that I'm concerned about is how are you going to address the funding against you? Because you know that if internal polling starts to show that you are a danger to Debbie Wasserman Schultz, we all know it's going to happen. There's going to be
it's going to happen anyway.
APAC money. So
it's going to happen anyway.
How do you address that?
Oh, I've been waiting for it. I've been waiting for it. I started thinking about this a couple of years ago. We have some things in play. We have some things up our own sleeves. Let's just say that we're not going to be playing 2-1 like we always are. It's going to be more like 2-2. And that some of the recent incidents in the world have angered some very wealthy people that wouldn't normally be supportive. And I decided a couple of years ago that if we're going to ever really be able to compete, it can't be 2-1 anymore. We need backup. There need to be progressive PACs. There need to be people that are running parallel type campaigns and doing that so that we are fighting fair and we're fighting according to their rules and legally, but we're meeting them where they are. And so there are a lot of things that are going to be in play that I don't think are used to being in play. And I think it's going to be very interesting. And I would also suggest that it's a numbers game. I need 50,000 votes, give or take. And how much money she gets and how nasty they say things about me and call me a self-loathing Jew and whatever they're going to say, that's not going to change the fact that I still only need 50,000 votes. And I know who my people are locally. You know what I'm saying? Like we had over 20,000 last time in a pandemic. So I don't know. I feel inspired, and the outreach I've been getting, and very specifically from the Muslim community, has been like amazing. Like, honestly, I mean, I was joking that I'll end up like wearing a hijab by the end of the month just because I've been going to so many dinners, and I was like, it's so warm and inviting, and they're just being so kind and gracious, and it's very touching. Like it really is. So I feel there's this huge momentum based on people that are outraged and feel silenced here. And I think that it's very formidable, and they are really propping me up and promoting me amongst themselves. And so I don't know, this is very interesting times here.
Yeah, you've gone viral on Twitter as well for some of like the things that you said, because you've had some really powerful speeches about how like you were raised as a Zionist.
Yes.
And you've since changed your opinion on that, and you've speaked out really, really vociferously against the genocide right now. So contrast you with Debbie Wasserman Schultz. I mean, you don't really have to do that because the audience knows she's full-throatedly supporting genocide, but like just speak about why this is so important to you.
Yeah.
And then
So
also make fun of John Fetterman, just because.
Oh yes, please. If anytime you can take a shit on John Fetterman and just throw
what
in a
your
jab here
deal
and there.
specifically with John, like honestly, I decided a long time ago, like I even said it on my show, he's dead to me. Like I won't, I'm not wasting my time dealing with him. Like he's a buffoon. So for me, I started deprogramming my Zionist self maybe about 15 years ago or so. I keep thinking 10, but then I've been saying 10 for so long and I'm getting older. So it's like I'm pushing 53. So but maybe 15 years ago. And it just started unraveling bit by bit by bit. And then right around the last time when I was running in 19, I still had this like idealistic view of the possibility of a two-state solution. But by that point, I totally knew that what was happening was so wrong. And I didn't it was like a transition from start to finish. And a lot of it for me here had to do with all the anti-BDS legislation. And around that time, it was just, as somebody who takes the Constitution very seriously, that was pissing me off. That was pissing me off to no end. And then I started digging and digging, and it unraveled like a friggin' house of cards. And now you can't unsee it. But, Debbie is an AIPAC darling. And she very well might also ideologically be a Zionist. The truth is, I don't know. It could be both. Whatever. But I know that I was used as a tool in ethnic cleansing. I know that I was put in what most people, if you were to use common sense, would realize is a human shield position. I can say everything that comes out of Israel's mouth is a lie, and that everything that they say is stuff that they're projecting that they do. And when I think back on when I was there and what that was, we were totally in places that we were not supposed to be. And we thought it was so cool. We had this armed guard and he had a machine gun and all this stuff. And we're in high school in this group and we're like, oh my God, how cool is that? Like we have this armed guard. Yeah. If you're taking teenagers somewhere where you believe that it might be necessary to have an assault rifle to protect them, you're using them as human shields. If you're building things in places where you know that it's not safe, those are human shields. You know what? The whole thing is just so aggravating to me. I'm just like, I'm in a rage lately. But October 22, we started a series on my show called Deconstructing Zionism. And it was really just because I just started putting a lot of nice books together that I was compiling like a little library and inviting people on to talk. But so I've been down this rabbit hole for a while. This is not new. This is not since October 7th for me. Now I'm just at a whole new level of rage. That's all. Like, I honestly didn't think I could be more angry.
The way that you speak about like deconstructing your Zionism resonates with me, because I often talked about how like I was raised evangelical Christian, and they also raise you to be Zionist, but you don't really get, into the weeds as deeply as you did, for example. Like they just taught us in the church, like you have to be out for Israel. It's God's people. And I actually didn't know that, being raised as like a Christian evangelical, I didn't know about all the apocalyptic stuff and how like the reason why you're supposed to support Israel is because they're supposed to facilitate the end times. And they're all either going to be converted or killed. I had no idea, but as I got older and learned about this, I thought this is extremely fucked up and dehumanizing. Like even
it's so anti-Semitic. It's so incredibly anti-Semitic.
Yeah,
I know.
Yeah, I had no idea that that's what it was. And even as I was still a Christian, but deconstructing and learning about that, I was like, does that not seem like? Wait, that was kind of like not the start, but like part of the unraveling of like myself deprogramming. From that Zionism, because it's like, wait, it seems like weird that they would all be killed. Like, isn't God about forgiveness and stuff like that? So I didn't know that it was so anti-Semitic, even though they were saying we support Israel. And that is the ethos of people like John Hagee, which is embraced by this movement, So it's really nice to hear you talk about that, because we all get like these kinds of ideas embedded in us that we just kind of accept by default, because that's our default. That's how we were raised, right?
Yeah.
That's how we were programmed. But when you really start to pick it apart and scrutinize it, you realize it is so fucked up. Really,
I don't
really
think people realize, unless, for people, if you've read Elon Pappy's book, if you've read, some like Rashid Khalidi, like some of these books, then you probably know too. Then I'm not like overly, like, it's not like I wrote a dissertation on this, but like there was a renaming committee back, I think like probably 1947, like right before official. And when they were resurrecting a dead language, which Hebrew was not spoken anywhere there. They had to resurrect a dead language to create a language and make up a nationality. And there was a renaming committee that went through all of the ancient things in Palestine and gave them new names and backstories. And not only were we taught that here, but children born in Israel, because we had Miko Peled on, and he was talking about, he was taught the same nonsense with the made up stuff too. And he lived right next door to the real things. Like they would go look at what was, they would be told was some ancient Hebrew ruins. And it was some guy's house from like 30 years before. Wow. Like that kind of stuff. I mean, just so ridiculous. And, it's amazing that they're still trying to gaslight us when we're watching it in live time. Like, I don't understand how they think that they can get away with gaslighting us anymore.
Oh, by getting rid of TikTok. You get rid of TikTok, no one will see anything anymore.
We'll know nothing.
Strategy. Yeah.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on that? How would you have voted if you were in Congress? Like, I feel like I know, but like, I'm just curious your thoughts.
I am fairly close to being a free speech absolutist, unless what you're doing is causing literal, physical, imminent bodily harm or threat to persons. I'm pretty much let it fly. I don't even mind hate speech. I like to know who my bigots are. Doesn't bother me in the least. Hate crime, that's a whole other thing. But if somebody wants to walk up and down my street trashing Jews, I don't care. That's on you. Now, if somebody beats the crap out of you, I don't care about that either. But so no, I am vehemently opposed to any sort of censorship of information, deplatforming anybody ever, unless it is specifically libelous or if it is criminal in some way. But other than that, no. And certainly not because it has relationship to China. Like it's just so friggin' xenophobic. The whole thing is just so gross. Am I missing something about this? Because I'm not on TikTok. I've never been on TikTok. I don't even go on social media, guys. I'm never on, I don't do social media. So I don't even know how to get to TikTok. I don't know.
Well, you better download it now because you might not have the opportunity to here soon. But basically the argument is that ByteDance, the company that owns TikTok, at any point in time, China can say, give us all the user data. And so that poses a national security threat. And that's technically true, I guess. There's no evidence that this has actually happened. There's a ton of evidence that other social media platforms like Oracle, like Facebook, have actually taken user data. Mark Zuckerberg took Facebook user data for his own personal purposes. So it is happening. Now,
Facebook has previously sold data to China. So I mean,
literally, literally, which is so wild to me. And so, like, if this was about protecting our data, which they need to do, by the way, because there are data brokers that sell our information. But if this was about that, they can easily.
It would be a broad law on every single social media platform, tech platform. But this is clearly a bill targeting TikTok specifically. Yeah.
Right. Well, and because I think because a lot of the Israel stuff. I mean, this came out with that whole thing from what's his Greenblatt. I don't even like to say that. He is like the spawn of Satan. Came out like however long ago that was, and now that's been like coming out. And again, I have been like this past week, like dialing for dollars like pretty incessantly. So I am definitely a week delayed on things. So I am I apologize. But no, this is all censorship about China. And quite honestly, and I say this completely seriously, I don't want anybody in my data. I don't. I actually think I might prefer people in China to someone like Jeff Bezos. Like, I don't know. I'd need to see who they were, who's going to be looking at my data. But quite honestly, why I've never cared about the nationality of my oligarchs. It does not.
I mean,
what is the Chinese government going to do with my data? What, arrest me? The U.S. government could do that if they have my data and they see something that they deem that they don't like or something.
Right. What's China going to do? Send you more ads or like promotions or like what? That's what.
Which is what Facebook and YouTube and Twitch and all these U.S. based platforms do. Like there is no difference other than the fact that it is a company based in a foreign country that members of U.S. Congress and the U.S. government don't like because they view them as hostile or they're, created a career out of being hawkish on that country because they view them as a competition. I mean, it's exactly what it is. I mean, and I've said this on other shows this week, but I should reiterate here the same point. During the Super Bowl, company named Temu showed Super Bowl ads multiple times. That's a China-based e-commerce website. Alibaba and AliExpress are two huge e-commerce platforms that sell that basically help connect manufacturers and factories in China and in other countries all over the world, very cheap labor countries all over the world, with U.S. business so they can manufacture goods, get materials, or just buy in bulk to drop ship or to sell. These are companies, Alibaba, AliExpress, Temu, based in China, who have way more sensitive information on U.S. users and businesses. They have your address because they ship to you, right? They have your financial records. They have your credit card information. They have your credit card numbers. Literally, the service they provide, providing the materials to all these big companies could put a stranglehold on the U.S. economy if they just decide to pull back or hold it, dangle it above our head, do something different. Mm-hmm. Yet you don't see them going after these e-commerce companies. Why? Because these e-commerce companies don't affect the politics. People can't share their ideological beliefs on it like they do on TikTok. They can't share news on TikTok like they do on TikTok. And so, they're not focused on those companies, even though those
same with
companies
Tencent.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
Tencent, one of the biggest video game companies in the world. They're not going after them. They own Epic Games, don't they? That's hundreds. Yeah. I think there's 173 million video game players in China that play online games. Last time I looked it up, and that's a lot of people. Not to mention all the American audience of people. There's got to be millions of people who play those games. Millions and millions.
I think Tencent owns 40% of Epic Games, so that's probably why they can get away with it.
I was just going to ask if maybe one of you can explain to me why we're so scared of the Chinese. Because from where I'm sitting, they're not the ones terrorizing the world. So I'm just curious, what
it depends. Republicans seem to really always want war with China.
I don't know.
Communism bad.
But I mean,
even though it's not a communist country,
they're not communist.
Literally, there's major corporations. Some of the richest individuals in the world live in China.
Billionaires faster than any other country in the world. They mint billionaires faster than any other country right now. They are kicking the U.S.'s ass at capitalism.
So
but here's the thing too.
How is that communist? How do people just because it's called?
It's because it's in the name. Just like everybody thinks that North Korea is a democracy because it's called democracy.
China is an authoritarian country. They do, have human rights abuses. They do have issues, but in terms
they
of
heavily censor the internet.
Right. They heavily censor the internet, which of course, I mean, how can U.S. Congress use that point anymore? You heavily censor the internet. You don't let a China-based company run their platform here in the U.S. I mean, it's a bullshit sort of thing that we're going in that direction. But the fact of the matter is that when it comes to, they view China as competition and a danger, I guess. But the fact of the matter is, China cannot flourish without the U.S. and U.S. needs China. These two countries are tied at the hip. One buys from the other, one supplies for the other. They cannot. They cannot flourish without the other in the current global economy we live in. So the idea that they are even our enemy in that sense, yes, have a problem with the human rights abuses. We should be, but that's not why the Republicans are. They just use the Uyghur Muslims as a cudgel. They don't really care though. That's just what they say their problem with China is, but it's really not.
Well, I just think that when we have the amount of human rights abuses that we have, it's just hard for me to keep a straight face and win. But they have human rights abuses. And then listening to Nancy Pelosi, and we played the clip today on the show.
Tic-tac-toe.
Oh, she had a kente cloth moment of gargantuan proportions today with the TikTok.
I love that.
Oh, it's so ridiculous.
Why aren't we banning all these Chinese millionaires and billionaires who buy up property and land in the United States? Why don't we ban that practice?
Wow.
That's actually affecting people, driving up prices, putting actual U.S. land in the hands of people from a foreign country who aren't even living here. They're just buying it up as an investment to then make U.S. citizens pay even more if they're.
The answer was in your statement, though, like you just said, driving up prices. Hey.
Right, but we don't. That's fine. I'm being facetious
homeowner,
here.
Hey.
Yeah. It's a
hell yeah, baby.
Right. But of course, we don't stop those practices. God forbid.
But she's sitting there and making it sound like she's almost doing it because of solidarity with the people of Tibet. So it's like, because China is so abusive, and the thing with the Uyghurs and they have human rights violations in Tibet. So because they suppress Tibet, we're now going to suppress you. Like, I don't, does anybody see the irony in that? And then I also think this has a lot to do with her in Taiwan. I don't know. I mean, the whole thing to me was weird, how she was like trying to say that we're protecting you and then gives these reasons that have nothing to do with protecting us.
Yeah, I think it's a multitude of reasons, right? It's the anti-China fervor, but also both parties have their reasons why they don't like TikTok. Like, if you hear from Republicans, they constantly make dumbass comments about how TikTok is transing the kids. Democrats don't like that TikTok is undermining their legitimacy when it comes to the genocide in Gaza. So they both have their reasons. On top of that, there's also the corruption angle. Like, a lot of these politicians take money from Meta, including Nancy Pelosi, who I believe has stocks in Meta, and they heavily benefit from the death of TikTok.
That's one of the major drivers behind this that I think people overlook because they're so focused on the direct politics.
It's competition and getting rid of competition.
The U.S. tech companies are putting a lot of money in lobbying to ban TikTok because they couldn't beat TikTok. They tried to replicate it. Meta with Instagram and Instagram Reels, YouTube with YouTube Shorts, but Google and Meta are major drivers behind lobbying against TikTok. And then the news broke today that former Trump cabinet member and Hollywood producer Steve Mnuchin is already at work putting together a group of investors to try to buy TikTok when TikTok is ostensibly forced to sell. Now, I mean, it's pretty, but of course, Democrats are going to join Republicans in forcing TikTok to then, of course, sell to another Republican billionaire, a right-wing billionaire, a millionaire or billionaire or whatever.
Bobby
and then we got, right. I mean, it's just ridiculous. It's ridiculous. We got, Elon Musk spreading great replacement theory on Twitter. Fomenting literal white supremacist hatred towards immigrants, transgender people.
Have you seen the stuff about Haiti?
Yeah, about Haiti. And listen, I'm not someone
here right now. That's huge.
Oh yeah.
I don't think the U.S. government should step in and force Elon Musk to sell Twitter. That's not what I'm saying. But the U.S. government has huge government contracts with Elon Musk with SpaceX. That's where they have every right to say, we don't like what's going on here. We can't put U.S. government, data, information, or money in the hands of this guy. We're ending those contracts. We're not working with him anymore. That they should do. But of course, there's no push to do that.
No.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't feel very safe and protected by Nancy Pelosi. Her karate chop is not making me feel really like, I'm safe. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Yeah, the TikTok thing, it all feels very disingenuous. And you add insult to injury when they all pretend like this isn't actually an effective ban. No. We're just trying to make it better. I mean, but what happens if they don't divest within 6 months? What happens? They can no longer be offered in any app store. Like that's
which I think is impossible. I was listening to someone who knows about things like that, like how businesses sell and thing. I know nothing about this, but that time frame is not possible. So that it is essentially a ban for them to be. They're not going to be able to divest in that amount of time. The amount that it needs to be done is what again. That's not my opinion. I heard somebody who seemed to know things saying that.
Also, this is going to get caught. This is going to get caught up in the legal process. TikTok is not going to just lay down.
I don't even think it's going to make it past the Senate.
They're going to sue. Well, if it was cut off anywhere, I would.
You don't think it'll pass the Senate? I don't know.
I think you're.
Well,
I think you're a little bit too. I don't know about that. I think it'll die in the courts. TikTok has won this battle in the courts already. Montana tried to ban TikTok already, and TikTok took them to court, and they won. It's so what's going to happen is either the courts are going to defeat it, or if this does actually happen, then I see a scenario where ByteDance ends up working out something with some sort of company where they retain 40% or something like that. They're not going to give up TikTok completely. They're losing money on TikTok and they don't want to let it go because they know the potential there, because it is a growing platform. It has a huge user base, and other companies are foaming at the mouth trying to figure out how TikTok is so the secret sauce is its algorithm. Other companies have tried to replicate the recommendation algorithm, which it's super addictive. If you want to go after that, the issues with how these tech companies sort of draw people in to the point where they become addicted, I'm all for that. But that's, again, not TikTok only. They just happen to be really good at getting people addicted to the product. But same could be said for other platforms altogether. Like,
right.
You know what's the grossest thing about all this is it actually made Marjorie Taylor Greene have like a sentient point for the first time in her career.
I know.
She stood up and she's like, we shouldn't just be doing this to TikTok. We should do this to all social media companies that sell our data. I was like, oh my God, what?
I don't like this feeling. I'm agreeing with her, and I'm like, this isn't good at all. Well, like a broken clock. I mean,
yes. Please don't get me wrong. I'm not giving it up to her. No, I never will. Yeah, no.
It's important though, because you have to think about this. Marjorie Taylor Greene, a self-proclaimed Christian nationalist fascist, is to the left of the president and a lot of Democrats on a free speech issue.
They're not arguing.
It's for different reasons. I think.
They're not arguing from the leftist perspective of it. The right wing.
I mean, I should say that they're further to the right than Marjorie Greene on this. Not that she's to the left, because I don't want to give her credit. But you know what I mean?
I know what you're saying. But their talking points on this have been completely different, and it's an imaginary argument they're making. That's not the case at all. They're claiming that this bill isn't really to go after TikTok. TikTok is just the Trojan horse to convince everybody it's a good bill. But the real target is like Rumble and Truth Social and Elon Musk's X, which is not true at all. Those platforms are completely not the target whatsoever, explicitly not the target, because they're not foreign owned, and that's the specific part in the bill. The bill specifically targeting foreign owned social media platforms with specific wording that makes it clear that it's very targeted towards TikTok specifically.
Yeah, it's just scary when I find myself agreeing with her. It really is. It's very unnerving. I find it very unnerving.
It was funny, I gotta admit, how when she announced that she was opposed to it, at least on Twitter, she's like, as the only member of Congress who's been banned from social media, I'm against it. It's like, shut up. Stop making it about yourself. You're not the victim.
You're such a martyr.
Yeah. Yeah. So
to be fair, if I was in Congress, I would be flaunting left and right, like, as the only congressperson banned by Elon Musk.
I want to reclaim our civil liberties on the left. When did we lose that thing? Like, when did the left not become about civil liberties? Because I've always been leftish, and I mean, now I'm getting to where I think I'm going to fall off on the other side, but
what?
I'm going to fall off. If you go so far to the left, eventually you're going to fall off and then you might wrap around. That's how come sometimes I find myself. No, I'm like falling off to the left. But I grew up as I was a member of the ACLU since I was able to ever become one. Like my parents were this was a big deal, was free speech. And all right, when did that happen? I feel like it's very frustrating to me that somehow that could be a right thing and not a left thing.
Part of it
it's not a right wing thing though, and it is still a left thing.
Yeah.
I think it's a huge difference to expect a social media platform that has very clear policies around something to take action on those policies. If they clearly have in their policy that they don't allow hate speech, and they decide to just let white supremacist rhetoric go by, but they go after someone who shares pro-Palestinian stuff. I think it's totally fair to be these are your policies. We expect you to abide by these policies. You made these policies because you want to make your platform a safer space for your users. And the real reason is because you want it to be a safe space for the advertisers to attract those users, but they're your policies. So, I think that's totally fair. I don't know any leftist position where it's no people should be jailed for, this. If that was the case, obviously I would be fully against that. People have free speech in terms of there should be no, consequences from the government. But if you lose your job as a consequence of saying the N-word on Twitter, then
that's private business. Absolutely.
That's how the cards fall, my friend.
Yeah. Jen, I think what you're speaking to in part is because basically it was like 2013 when the Snowden leaks came out. That was when Obama was president, and liberals were in a position to where they had to kind of defend the status quo because it was happening under Obama.
Is that when it like that's so bad? Because I and again, like I'm a little older and I've spent like a better part of the past years dealing with children. So like I thought maybe I missed it when that happened, like that I didn't get the memo that now all civil liberties will be fought for by people on the right. People on the left are going to be more concerned with their feelings.
Yeah, but
people on the left
be really
are
clear.
sort
When
of
right
feeling
wingers talk about
uncomfortable.
free speech, their version of it, they just want the speech
Just
they
for
think is
them.
the most important to be the freest. That's all they care about. You can see that very clearly with what Elon Musk is doing. Under Elon Musk, Twitter has agreed to more censorship on the behalf of authoritarian governments like Modi, right, saying that they're going to censor information related to, you know, maybe the persecution of Muslims in India than any other previous administration. So he doesn't care about free speech. And there's just like they frame it in such a way where it makes it seem as if the arbiters of speech are suddenly companies, corporations, all these social media companies. Like you think the internet is massive. We only go to about 5 of the same websites or apps every single day that own everything. It is a complete monopolization of our attention on the internet. And in that structure, they are dictators. It's all dictatorships. They choose what speech is or is not free. They get to choose, this is how we do or do not apply our TOS, because it's never the same thing. It's like, you know, the more profitable or bigger channels get a lot more passes than the little city baby channels that just get struck down because people don't like them, right? As long as this is the structure of the whole system, the right are fooling everybody by saying they care about free speech. They don't. You can look to any one of the things that Elon Musk has done, including what he's done to Matt Binder, for example, where all of a sudden he's like, you know, I am free speech space Karen, man. And he's going after people who are revealing his public travel information, saying they're assassination coordinates. They weren't.
Did you get in trouble, Matt? Did you get in trouble with Elon Musk?
Oh yeah, it was a big thing in December of not last year, the year before that. I was one of the 6 journalists that was suspended for reporting on him banning the Elon jet tracker. Yeah. I'm back on there now, but I was suspended for
a check mark too.
Yeah, I have a blue check mark still too because he punished me. He wanted to punish me with the shame of a blue check mark because I was making fun of people who had one.
Now everybody thinks he pays for Twitter.
No, I think his name is Lord Farquaad. He's Lord Farquaad from Shrek. I think he's a very, very little man, and he is a very insecure person. Well, I think a lot of those people are, but he to me strikes me as someone who wasn't like, I don't know, was not in the social world. Maybe as a teenager, maybe wasn't so popular. I don't know, but he's a very small man.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah,
small, and how
overcompensating now.
Oh my God! Well, I think they're all kind of like that to some extent, all those guys. But he's just very, I don't know. I'm not a fan.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, I don't think anyone here is.
Yeah, not a fan.
Yeah. So I wanted to talk about Chuck Schumer because today he said something that has pissed off a lot of people, not us. Although I will say that like there's a difference between rhetoric and actually changing the policies, but I'll play his speech for you. He's on Twitter defending himself, taking a lot of heat. But here's what he said. This is about Netanyahu in particular.
I have known Prime Minister Netanyahu for a very long time. While we have vehemently disagreed on many occasions, I will always respect his extraordinary bravery for Israel on the battlefield as a younger man. I believe in his heart he has his highest priority is the security of Israel. However, I also believe Prime Minister Netanyahu has lost his way by allowing his political survival to take the precedence over the best.
He had it before.
Yeah.
He has put himself in coalition with far-right extremists like Ministers Smotrich and Ben-Gvir. And as a result, he has been too willing to tolerate the civilian toll in Gaza, which is pushing support for Israel worldwide to historic lows. Israel cannot survive if it becomes a pariah. As a lifelong supporter of Israel, it has become clear to me the Netanyahu coalition no longer fits the needs of Israel after October 7th. The world has changed radically since then, and the Israeli people are being stifled right now by a governing vision that is stuck in the past. At this critical juncture, I believe a new election is the only way to allow for a healthy and open decision-making process about the future of Israel, at a time when so many Israelis have lost their confidence in the vision and direction of their government. Hamas and the Palestinians who support and tolerate their evil ways, radical right-wing Israelis in government and society, President Abbas, Prime Minister Netanyahu. These are the four obstacles to peace, and if we fail to overcome them, then Israel and the West Bank and Gaza will be trapped in the same violent state of affairs they've experienced for the last 75 years.
Yeah, so I mean,
everything he said was just ridiculous. Like, I don't even know where to start. And quite honestly, for me at this point, every single person who comes forward now is still irredeemable at this point. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, there's nothing like, okay, now Chuck, you're on the good side now. No. Like,
well, I don't
think
he went that far. I think it's basically he's blaming everything on Benjamin Netanyahu, rather than like as if like this is a solely Benjamin Netanyahu and his far right cabinet. You know, was it Ben Gvir who had like a photograph on his office for a long time of an actual like mass murdering terrorist who killed a whole bunch of and like you knew who you were associating with. This isn't a surprise, you know, that these are individuals who are perhaps really really big on dehumanizing Palestinians to the pass of committing like mass murder and stuff like that. Like.
Yeah, and just to follow up on this, so this is basically getting backlash in Israel. They're pretending as if he called for regime change. Israel is not a banana republic, but an independent and proud democracy.
I mean, he kind of did. It was uniquely American to be like, you know what, this has gone too far. We think you need a new government.
Like, that's great.
You could interpret it that way. So yeah, they're molding right now. They're not very happy about this. They're apparently stunned by what he said. And look, I think that what he said is good. I'll accept a change in rhetoric because it's better than nothing. But if you continue to support the continual supplying of weapons, it really doesn't make a difference. You could say what you want. I mean, what was it last weekend? Joe Biden said that Rafah was a red line, but then said he'd never cut off weapons to Israel in the same sentence. And then the next day, in a different interview, Netanyahu was like, "Yeah, I'm going to go into Gaza also. No two-state solution." So I mean, like, if there's no accountability, your words don't really hold any weight, you know?
Right. No. Right. I mean, I do think it's the one thing to take away from this is that there's a very clear turn, though. I get that there's no action yet behind these words. They're just words. But also these words weren't being said even weeks ago. I think the activism, the uncommitted vote movement has clearly made its mark.
Yeah, not just in the U.S. too, in Canada too. We recently just restored funding to UNRWA, and today Justin Trudeau said that he is going to now limit all non-military sales to Israel until there can be an investigation into potential war crimes. Again, it's not where it needs to be anywhere close, but that's something. You know, that's a major thing for Canada. Canada's a massive Israeli and U.S. ally. We are completely dependent on the U.S. military to do whatever we want. You know, in terms of being assholes globally. So,
right. Yeah. Right. There still hasn't been any. The UNRWA thing is still unbelievable to me. How these allegations were made by Israel. U.S. pulls funding, then the EU pulls, Canada pulls, all our allies
Australia,
pull funding.
Everyone.
We wait for Israel. UN waits for Israel to bring about the evidence or to just even officially make these claims with where they're getting them from. They wait. They're never provided them. And then the situation in Palestine, in Gaza, becomes what it is. And all these countries are just like, oh boy, we're giving the funding back to UNRWA. No accountability. No saying what did we do? Like, there are starving children in Gaza right now who might not have been starving or might not been at the level of starvation they're at if that funding was never pulled due to baseless allegations that Israel has not even tried to pretend were based on anything. They provided nothing. They provided nothing because they don't have it. They don't have it.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
refer back to point one. If Israel's lying when its lips are moving. It's just the way it is. I don't ever believe anything that comes out of it, anything. And that's the thing. And it's the boy who cried wolf. I mean, maybe at some point. And that's when people say, oh, but you believe Hamas? Well, they might be lying. I don't know. But I know that they didn't spend 40 years lying to me my whole life. So, I at least owe them the benefit of the doubt over the people that have been lying to me my whole life. I at least got to acknowledge that kind of weirdness. So, no, I don't believe anything that any of them say. And I think they're just totally intentionally genociding 2 million people. This is irreversible at certain point. You realize that, like, you can't even at a certain point bring food in and save people when you get to a certain point of malnourishment and disease and all of this stuff. And I do not see how this ends short of 2 million dead people in the desert. And and they could build a port. He could build them an international airport. I don't care. And this got set in place when it started without sanitation, without water, without medical care. Like, people can't live like that. There's women giving birth like this. There's women that they don't have anything for their menstrual cycles. Like, this is a disgusting mess. And I don't think at this point, dropping aid from parachutes or any, like, what are they talking about? Like, they're talking about Israeli government who, like, we're so far past that with this. You see, I can't even be rational.
I don't know, Matt, if you saw, but before Trudeau restored funding to UNRWA, he had seen the UN report, which now has been revealed. I think the Times of Israel said that under the UN investigation into the accusations of members of UNRWA being part of Hamas, that they actually found evidence of Israel torturing aid workers to falsely have them testify that they were members of Hamas. That's part of the actual UN investigation into the accusations.
I did not see that, or I did read it, and because of everything, I forgot that part of it because there's always something new. I'm also thinking about that report that came out from that report that came out from that Israeli agency. I forgot the name of it, but they were investigating the allegations that the Palestinian workers given permits to work on those kibbutzes. Remember the allegations that, they actually worked with Hamas to tell them about, to help them prepare for the October 7th attack. This Israeli government agency had interviews with Palestinian workers and found no evidence that this was the case. No evidence.
But even if it were, like, let's say hypothetically, okay, because the four of us are reasonable enough to know what Hamas is and what Hamas isn't. Like, we don't need to sit here and debate what that is, right? So let's say hypothetically 12, 13 people of that giant organization in whatever capacity that they were at UNRWA somehow had some affiliation with something that is the government of Gaza. Okay. So, okay. And what if some of them participated in something that was unsavory? They dismissed them immediately. Of course, without due process, mind you. So
they fired the ones that weren't killed, basically.
Right. So what, like, I don't understand. So clearly that was just some sort of manufacturing consent to cut off what they've been wanting to cut off all along. So to even, like, that's just absurd. Right. Even if all those people did participate, okay. So they participated. So look into that criminally if you need to, investigate it, fire them. I don't know, whatever. But what does that have to do with all of the Palestinian people and their aid? Like, I do not understand this. So yeah.
Yeah, it's just more collective punishment.
Well,
Punish every single person.
The point of that narrative though was to say that that Palestinian citizens were a part of this, that no Palestinian could be trusted. Going off, that was the whole point of it. Yes. To basically say, these weren't necessarily Hamas, fighters or members. These were people that we trusted to come into this country and work. And they turn around and these Palestinian citizens give, tools to help Hamas plan the attack. That was the point of that.
Do you know if any of them that they claimed, like, because I know that UNRWA, it's all over. It's not just in Gaza. Like, you have West Bank and Lebanon and Jordan, or, all the different places. So were the people that were all accused or supposedly named as being affiliated with the October 7th attack, were these all people that are in Gaza? Or
Yes,
were any of them? They were all people that worked in Gaza.
And it was 12 employees, which I think works out to something like 0.067% of the entire workforce. So even that, like in and of itself, I thought was like really messed up. But of the people who weren't killed that day, because there were several members who lost their lives, they investigated the remaining ones. And yes, the UN found apparently their report hasn't been released, but according to the sources like Times of Israel, they found that they were not only not complicit in October 7th, but that they were tortured by the Israeli government to try and testify that they were by waterboarding. So it's another one of those situations where, like,
well, maybe people don't like being born in captivity. It's just a thought, putting that out there. Maybe that's unsettling for people, and it causes them to have a certain amount of anger and retaliation. Just saying.
Isn't it 30? Is it 30,000 employees? That's part of UNRWA. And they say it was 13.
12,
and that's why
they
suspended. Yeah, that's what wrong one. Let's see here. Yeah, 13 people out of 30,000. It's so crazy.
Yeah. And again, no due process anywhere. None. Not regarding the people. No due process. Just everybody just decides to cancel funding for everything without any investigation or due process.
And one of the reasons why they are specifically targeting the UNRWA is because it's not just a feeding program or a food program. It's an employment program. It's actually supposed to help give Palestinians a quality of life and a dignity in that they can employ them. They can have them work as, part of their own liberation or help or rescue, that kind of stuff. It goes a lot deeper than simply being like they deliver rice or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's really sad. It's hard to not feel hopeless because, we're supporting this, indirectly with our tax dollars. It's very frustrating.
I feel like I'm going to be atoning for the rest of my life just for my own part in any amount of the Zionist nonsense that I did growing up. And this is just like, this whole thing is weighing on me. Like, it's just adding to that, and I'm so angry that and the people that are holding this up and just doing this, like it's somehow in any way for why they're saying that they're doing it, and why anybody believes that is just, I don't know. This is a purposeful genocide. They're selling waterfront property and getting natural gas leases. Like I don't, it's very clear, so.
Right. They're using October 7th as a justification for what they've been wanting to do, right? Like they want Gaza, Completely. So, and that's not to say that October 7th was fine and I don't condemn Hamas, because obviously I do. We have to do our regularly hourly condemnation of Hamas. But yeah, it is a genocide. It's intentional. It's purposeful. They are targeting.
But why do we have to condemn Hamas? Like, I'm serious. Like, why do I condemn people that do certain acts? But Hamas is like a huge organization that has multiple arms and factions, and only one part of it is militant. Like, I just feel like nuance matters. I feel like if I was born in a concentration camp or in a ghetto of some kind where I was locked in, and I were to rise up and fight against that, really? Like, I guess I just,
Well, you know what it is, and there was a really good conversation between Mehdi Hassan and Piers Morgan about this. And Mehdi Hassan was asked, it's good, right? Mehdi Hassan was asked by Piers, do you condemn Hamas? And Mehdi said, why do you always ask the Palestinian, like the brown guests, that, but you don't ask the guests defending Israel if they condemn the IDF and for their acts of
terrorism, or call them terrorists,
right? And I think that part of that is when you ask every Palestinian if they condemn Hamas, you work to kind of conflate all Palestinians with Hamas. When in actuality, like 50% of Palestinians or of Gazans supported Hamas. So it's very fragmented. And the people who, most of the people are children. They weren't alive when Hamas was voted in. But if you can conflate them with Hamas, then that helps in the dehumanization process, right? You drive home this point implicitly that they're guilty. They're all perpetuating this terrorism, and so if they get killed, then it's justified because they're all Hamas. So that's why I think it is.
And Israel, and this whole thing about Israel's right to defend itself. Actually, no. No, actually, they don't. According to international law, they do not have the right to defend themselves against an occupied entity that they occupy. And the technicality that they go with, that somehow because they left the inside of Gaza in 2005 or whenever that was, that somehow they are not occupying it, is absurd. And we all know that. So actually, legally, no, they do not have the right to defend against an occupied entity. So I just find, and this is, we don't need a ceasefire because it's not a war, it's a genocide. So you ceasefire when two sides are fighting, you call it a ceasefire. That's not what this is. And words matter. And I'm tired of this narrative. So I don't know. I'll get off my soapbox now.
I like your t-shirt, Rebecca.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Hi.
Rebecca, welcome.
Hi, everybody. I'm sorry joining in so late. Hi, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, and thank you guys. This is my little shirt. It's on sale right now because Target, they selling all the Black, History Month stuff for like $2.
Are they?
Especially in white neighborhoods. Nobody purchases any. We'll head over there to your local Target and get you something on sale.
That's good. So I have a couple of things planned if you're all interested in some stories that happened throughout the week. I've got some. I'll let you all kind of pick, unless you have something else. 'Cause these are just like things that I.
There was a bit of a gay Christmas this week in terms of just like amazing things happening in amongst all the shitty things. Some things I don't think we can talk about though. Yeah, I was going to talk about Stone Toss, the world's most famous neo-Nazi cartoonist. He got revealed. His identity has been revealed, and that was really funny. The Tate brothers are back in jail.
Oh, right.
Because
of Aiden Ross.
Aiden Ross snitched on them, which is so glorious. That's really, really funny. Oh, and J.K. Rowling is a Holocaust denier. That one also happened.
Right.
Hey, I called it an episode like what, 1 or 2 of this show where I pointed out that Harry Potter's got
the goblins.
No, it was the sorting hat that measured skulls.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. But then you listed everything. You're like, yeah, there's like a secret,
the goblins.
There's slavery, and the only character who opposes the slavery is ridiculed for it. There's like all the racist names. There's the anti-Semitic creatures in the books, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, and the eugenic sorting hat. Can't forget that.
Right, right. Which there's a Lego set of that now, and it talks.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's hideous, but yeah. Could you talk about the Stone Toss thing, Lance? Because I didn't actually follow this super closely.
Oh, I'll summarize it real quick, just so anyone who doesn't know. Stone Toss is the name of a very popular internet web cartoon that is deeply, deeply racist, homophobic, transphobic, all of them. He does them all. He loves them. He's obsessed with making fun of LGBTQ plus people, Black people, Indigenous people, you name it. He's got a whole bunch of stuff. He's been secret for I think about 8 years, but his stuff gets shared everywhere. Sometimes really huge politicians will share Stone Toss cartoons because they're very innocuous, simple, cartoony, cutesy little characters, or mass shooters. Racist mass shooters. A lot of racist mass shooters in their manifestos have his comics or memes of him, so he is quite prolific in his reach. He's raised
interesting how they see through exactly what it is, though. Like I know they get, I know you just mentioned, and it's true that Stone Toss gets away with what he gets away with in terms of the reach he gets because they're sort of, in a way, I guess, innocuous, the cartoons, but it's very like clear.
Time style.
But the fact that white nationalists and Nazis and far-right extremists know exactly what's being said in the cartoons, they're not all that innocuous then, you know what I mean?
Yeah. He used to do...
They're innocuous.
Well, he used to do an outright straight fascist comic called Red Panels, and then he retired the comic, and his retirement video is like a character as the Terminator going into the lava, and then he does like the Hitler salute right before he goes out. That was like the whole comic book. He denied being the creator of that comic book series, but now thanks to this leak, it's been proven that he is actually the creator of that comic. But yeah, it turns out that he is I believe half white, half Hispanic guy who lived in Japan for a long time. And tweeted out something like, if there's any ladies living in Japan and they're looking for an 8.5 out of 10, DM me.
And he's really like, he's grading himself on a fucking curve. 8.5. Like? I saw the picture. This dude is like a stereotypical like nerd, like very, very nerdy.
Some people
not a cool nerd either.
Yeah, some people do like that.
Like a stinky nerd.
There's sexy nerds. Oh yeah, there's
right. No, this is like a stinky nerd that doesn't bathe himself, has hygiene issues.
Okay, wait. Then really
perverted.
the issue is stinky and unkempt, not whether or not he's a nerd, right? Like we could get past the
I love
nerd.
nerds.
Stinky and unkempt.
Right.
No.
There's evil nerds.
For
Nerds
me,
are not
I gotta
a
lay my eyes on him, and then I'll be able. Because
Yeah,
you
do we
can
have
be
a
clean
picture?
and
All right,
ugly.
Rebecca,
You
I'm
just-
gonna DM you.
Yeah. Okay. Your spirit could be nasty, and that's why you ugly.
That's
You
true.
know?
That's true.
It's all of the above. You could take showers and all of the above, but you just ugly because you just nasty inside. You just doing the wrong thing.
I know people like that.
Mm-hmm. And so do
But now you can't post this on Twitter because all of the things outing him
Elon Musk took it all down.
It's a community violation. You can say any slur you want on Twitter, but if you out this Nazi, then that violates Twitter's community guidelines. It's so crazy how like the Nazis are running Twitter now.
What's interesting about that?
Isn't it?
What's interesting about that that particular policy where doxing is not allowed on Twitter, in terms of just like unveiling an anonymous person's name.
Which is now a matter of public record, by the way. Just so
right.
It's in
So
knowyourmeme.com. We're not the ones doing the doxing. It's already been done.
They can't take down the reports because that's not the Doxing Act. They took down the original post.
Right.
Unveiling who he was. But in that same sense, that policy should be construed in the same way where dead naming a trans person is doxing them because they don't go by that name. But they don't do that. They don't take down they don't take down tweets where people are using transgender people's dead names. No, in fact,
by massive accounts.
I'm sure
J.K. Rowling does that.
Sure, that's encouraged.
With millions of followers. Yeah, J.K. Rowling has 14 million followers, and she straight up does that. So
yeah. So what's the problem here, though? If they're calling out this person, I'm trying to figure it out. So calling out this,
he's a cartoonist. People only ever knew him as his avatar, which is this cute little kind of like white-looking comic, and that he hid in the shadows, and now his real face and name have been revealed, and all the funny tweets.
And he's been going behind this cartoon, so now that people know who he is
as a Nazi, as like he has like the most popular, I would say, fascist cartoon on the internet without like equal. Like
so that protects people. That protects him on Twitter. If somebody were to say, "Hey, this is the guy," now they're saying that is equal.
They took
to
that post down. Well, they took that. That's what Elon Musk censored. They didn't want that post up. They took all that.
Meanwhile, I get on Twitter every day and I'm seeing all kinds of porn all day, every day. But this is considered a problem.
Right?
Like outing a problematic person.
Yeah.
And isn't it so weird that like all the most prominent Nazis are like half white? Nick Fuentes, Stone Toss. It's like I don't think that they realize that the Nazis in general, they don't accept that. Like,
the response from their own community was so much racism directed towards him. It's like he's not even pure and all this kind of stuff. And I was like, oh my god,
this is why I'm not on social media. This is why I can't be on there. This is why people are too mean. People are too friggin' mean. And they wouldn't say it to your face. Like, that's the thing. I would love people who say crap about me online to say it to my face. And none of them would have the guts to say it because I grew up in an age when we didn't have it and people did not like you. First of all, you took care of your business. If you had a fight with someone, you handled it and then you went on your own way. Like you had to fight shit out. Like that was how it went. And it wasn't online and it wasn't through Twitter and your mommy couldn't come and get you and save you. And so I am oblivious to social media.
Oh, Jen, she about that life. So, so on Twitter, people like to get on what Meek Mill calls Twitter fingers, people who like to get online and do all of that. But my thing is, we do live in a day and age where that's the easiest way to do it, right? Yeah. People are at their jobs, their 9-to-5s on an anonymous page, and they are pulling out all kinds of misinformation. They're attacking people. Their tweets will get thousands and thousands of views, sometimes millions of views, depending on who reposted, because that's their feelings or whatever. And they'll never get an opportunity to find you or step to you. And that's the thing, that they have this opportunity to either repost something that could be misinformation that gets you canceled or whatever. And on Elon Musk's Twitter, some of these things they should be reported, they should be flagged, but the things that are flagged, like what we're talking about right now, like outing bad people, is that isn't flagged. But these other people, I don't get it. I don't understand why this is the way it is. But what
clicks and profit. clicks, whatever. Like, because at the end of the day, if it was profitable to be promoting what we would want them to promote, they would do that.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Like, so that's what it really comes down to. They're just following their corporate sponsors.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah. Whatever gets in the numbers.
This kind of shit is what's happening on Twitter now. I don't know if you saw this. This was wild to me. So this is a photo of presumably somebody who's a right winger, because this lady, I'm not going to show her face, but like she has a Black Rifle Coffee like tank top on. But this has 3 million views. This person says, Hannah Barron, what do you all notice? And then everybody was dogpiling on her because another thing went viral with regard to that photo. And this is the most unhinged shit I've ever fucking seen. So let me bring up the outcome of that. So this woman, who is a right winger, by the way, who's on their side, is being transvestigated by right wingers, and the community note says it all.
That is so dumb. Like, see, this pisses me off.
What is this? What is this?
It's a vagina. Like, and it could be a tuck. It could be whatever it wants to be. But why are all
she has a pad on. Like, seriously, like
she could have a whatever size. They come in different sizes.
Whatever.
Who gives a damn? Why y'all focused on this area? Like, this is she could have whatever she wants to have. She could be tucking. Who cares?
Right. And that's the thing. What if it was a penis? Like, I don't understand why we care.
That's what Lady Gaga said years ago when I think it was Anderson Cooper asked Lady Gaga, "What about the rumors that you're trans?" Or I think he used the word transvestite or something like that, because this was in 2007 or something. I don't remember when. And Lady Gaga just said, "What do you want me to say? I don't care. Let them think what they want. What if I had a penis?
Right.
Who cares? I'm not going to deny it." Or I'm not going to.
Does that make you less talented? Does that take away?
Yeah, right. It was a great response from her. She was, she was good, which made another thing that happened this week extra funny. She took a picture with Dylan Mulvaney, and there were TERFs who filled up her Instagram, comments saying like, "We had no idea how can you do this to women in women's mouth?" And it's like, this is the literal woman who sang the song Born This Way and mentions transgender people in the song, and you had no idea she supports trans people? Like, what?
And there was a comment from a Republican about how, oh my God, Lady Gaga went woke, and everybody was sharing it and shitting on them. Like, Lady Gaga going woke? What? How did this happen?
He was kind of old. I mean, she is somebody that reminds me of like how Bette Midler came up almost through like the bathhouses and stuff. Like Lady Gaga came like the gay community. Like that's her. Those are her people. Like I that's just a strange thing to not know about her. Like
they will flock with, because I guess when this is what like conservatives and people do, if she said something that may be seemingly conservative, if she came out looking conservative, whatever, they'll gravitate towards that. They won't go and do their history on what she stands for or whatever. And then when she does speak, they'll be like, oh my God, how dare she? Listen, she been on that. This person has been on that. You guys just never did your due diligence. You just like carried on this person because they said something that you guys assumed was towards your base and agreeing with everything. And they will ride that fence, but never go and truly look at this person, but just because they're a celebrity or whatever. And they will carry that until that person is who they are. Like, I hate that.
Maybe they saw her with Tony Bennett. Like maybe it's the crowd of people that saw the album like with Tony Bennett, and then they only knew her from like that. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I remember her wearing a meat dress. So I
do that.
Yeah.
I see some people in the people say my mic is very loud. I'll back off the mic. Hold on.
Oh, you muted yourself.
You just
now
muted
you're
yourself.
muted.
Now you're muted.
That's too quiet.
Yeah, you're still muted. I think you might have clicked on the mic setting in the actual browser. You've got the microphone.
Now your microphone is showing that it's off.
Yeah, your mic shows that it's off.
There we go.
All right.
Now you got a bad mic. Now it's connected to your laptop mic or something. I don't know.
I pulled
in
an attempt to fix my mic. I pulled the wire out.
Oh,
that's what happened. Yeah. So thanks a lot to the person who told me I was too loud. You just completely fucked up the entire audio.
I don't know if
anyway, I saw some people in the chat saying that to that photo of that right-wing woman who they were circling her
lady part,
private area
part.
Yeah. And transvestigating her. I saw some people say
Not
how
transvestigating.
Oh, it shows they've clearly these people have never been been with a woman before. But I think you have to look at it the other way. These guys saw nothing there and then said to themselves, "That looks like me."
That's good. That's good.
And this comes in a week when Candace Owens went viral for transvestigating.
I was going to bring that up.
Yeah,
the First Lady of France.
Yeah, and like she made this whole post.
She staked her reputation, her professional reputation.
Are you? Wait a minute.
But it's like, who cares though? Let's assume she is trans. Why does that matter? Holy shit!
Well, are you saying that's a word? Like this is a thing, a transvestigate?
Transvestigation.
Oh, it's a massive thing online. Oh, cis people.
Yeah,
it's all cis people doing it.
See,
yeah,
this is why I'm not on social media. Who has the time for that?
They're
like,
always wrong.
You know what? I mean, I don't know. Do any of you have children? Like, who has time for that? To be sitting there and worrying about people?
No kids, but I still ain't got the time. I'm tired.
What is people with genitals?
Yeah, and by the way, there's a really amazing video by Olay today. I just watched it. I didn't have time to tell her it was so good. She talks about how basically these types of transvestigations and transphobia, it also hurts cis women, especially cis Black women, because they are perceived to be masculine based on the I don't want to just watch the video. It's very good, but it explains how.
Of it, that was the part where I was like, this is like 302 levels of transphobia intersecting with racism, and this is so fascinating. I'm glad someone's finally putting this all down because it's like it's so true. Yeah,
and it's I didn't even think about how she brought up Sierra being transvestigated.
When we were kids, they made that. Well, we didn't even know the word transvestigation was not something. You just taught me that today.
First of all, I'm again pushing 53. None of this was a thing.
Yeah.
But the idea, none of this stuff is what I find weird. What I find weird is people being concerned with other people's privates.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Especially children. Understand for the life of me.
Yeah.
It's weird now. Back in the day, it was such a big thing because if it was just like you had to be straight. And if you were gay, you were weird. That was out of line, whatever.
But nobody was checking people's genitals, and nobody was obsessed with a bathroom. You were
zooming in on pictures, changing the contrast, trying to see.
We didn't have the internet. We didn't have the internet, so people couldn't verify. So we had these tabloids that I grew up believing, because from word of mouth, because of tabloids, that Sierra was.
Oh, you believed it?
Know what it was? Transvestite. So I just knew, or hermaphrodite. But these were the words that were thrown around.
But hermaphrodite is a whole other thing.
I was a child, and this is what we use, and this is what we believed, mind you, because she was tall, mind you. I'm an Amazon too. I'm a tall girl, and if I wear certain clothes or whatever, and that's just what it is. People are just gonna assume and think and whatever.
That's so funny. I would think maybe she had Marfan syndrome if she was really. I don't know, but it would not occur.
We were kids. This was back in the day. We only got just whatever the tabloids gave us, and it was minimal and it was dumb. And
so how long did it take you to deprogram that nonsense?
I feel like maybe when I got to, because I was in high school and people were still saying the same thing. So maybe I ain't even gonna kid you, 2007, 8ish when I got to college. And I was dancing my goodies in school. Okay. So all of
I was too.
This is where, right. We was out there with the little tops, my goodies. But at the end of the day, she's a woman and it doesn't matter. But whatever she identifies as but people will stick to it. They will put these transvestigation. But what Olay said, when we talked about this, but even just watching on the Breakfast Club with Jess Hilarious, who I believe, she's when I saw her coming up, she's a social media personality who came up as a comedian, had a lot of controversy for a lot of the things that she said. She went viral one time, canceled for making a comment about how Chadwick Boseman looked before his passing, not knowing he didn't come out with what was going on with him at the time. None of us knew. And she was saying, basically, he was saying people need to wear their masks. She was like, he need to stay inside. That was her whole thing as a running joke. It was problematic. Then the same woman had a picture with her son, and she was naked. Her son probably was 2 at the time. It was body to body with some Jordans on. Hated the photo, but that's her business. But people were like, come on, girl, like that doesn't look right, whatever. Then she was on a plane. And she was upset because there were Middle Eastern people on the plane. And she was like, I feel uncomfortable, yelling, screaming, did a whole live about it. This is Just Hilarious, who is now on The Breakfast Club. Mind you, I thought she was funny. I think she's a beautiful woman. But a lot of white people, even some black folks, were online saying, is this a man? Her voice is, I got a deep voice, so I know.
But why does it matter? What if it were? Like, why do
But she's the same person. People online were calling her a man. They said her voice is so deep. She's super manly. Her mannerisms are manly. She's dark skinned. She's a taller girl, I believe. And she comes off real, like, just, but to me, she's a woman, like whatever she identifies as a woman. Fine. But she's the same person that went on The Breakfast Club, and not even The Breakfast Club, before this interview about with T.S. Madison, who is transsexual, and she's big in our community, especially the Black community. Before she made comments on this woman, and I'm talking about Just Hilarious, she was online talking about how it was, I guess, about periods, and somebody made a comment about how men have periods too. She didn't come to that conversation, and she came with guns blazing. Oh, it's only a man and a woman. Y'all can't be. It was a whole thing. Okay. She didn't even say scientifically, whatever. She just was going in like, man, woman, trans, y'all can never be us. Y'all want to be us. It was that whole thing. So we knew she was already coming with a phobia. And then she gets on to The Breakfast Club, and how she's talking about this T.S. Madison, who again I said is trans, a Black trans woman, and she communicates with this woman, like almost like, you want to be me. You're not a woman. You can't even be my brother. Like that type of thing on there.
Yeah.
So a lot of phobia going on, but she's in this place, and I feel like this is where it's very problematic, because girl, they was just calling you a trans. They were just calling you all of these things, and you have this platform, and immediately every opportunity you get, you come off racist, you come off transphobic, and all. But these are the people that they're giving these mics to. These are the people that they are allowing these spaces to. And this is where I think it's like the fact that we can't call them out. They still get paid. They still get positions. They still do all of this. And this is the problem. But the irony of it all is, girl, they for years have called you a man. For years have called you a man. They said you need to check yourself, all of this stuff. And here you are, just being so transphobic, so nasty, all of the above. And this is why I say, like, I don't know. We had tabloids before. Now we got the internet where we get a lot of misinformation, but you can always go and correct that information with research, and people still don't do that. They won't do it.
It makes me sad. Like, it makes me sad that there are so many miserably unhappy people out there, that it's like, because people that are content, like with themselves and their lives, they're not concerned with other people's stuff. So it's like, what I'm hearing is just like a very, very sad, very unhappy people. And it's very unfortunate, because it's like, how do you fix that? Well, maybe you give people things so that they can exist without like living with stress constantly. But I mean, in general, it's like, these are just very miserable people, because why else would you do that?
The conclusion is to make people feel bad, because like, if you end up transvestigating somebody successfully, and you determine, okay, we have evidence, this is somebody who's trans, what's the conclusion? Then what? I mean, who cares?
I was right. I was right. So screw your life.
But the goal is to drive down like their self-esteem and make them feel bad, and like prop up this idea that somebody who's trans is inferior and bad and not a real woman or man. And it's really fucked up.
And it's worse when they have these opportunities to be on these, like the Joe Rogans and all those other people.
Yeah.
They get these they get paid to do this. They get like to utilize their platform. That's why, like I said, I like Just Hilarious and how she's funny or whatever, but when she started to do all of these things, you got to call a thing a thing. Love her, mean it, but you're problematic. Then you're on The Breakfast Club, and she's only been on there like a few months now. The first opportunity that you get is to call out like somebody trans because you guys are having a spat online and you make commentary, and so do your peers. They don't even call you out about it, but you make commentary that is very transphobic. It's problematic, and you know for our community what that means. You know what that people were telling you that you were a man this whole time. And you know what our community, how we feel about that, unfortunately. And I'll say generally, because it's not everyone, but that's just what a consensus is with especially with Black people. It's a touchy subject. And then it's the same person that also went on to speak on that girl Risa Tisa, who did the Why the F Did I Get Married? And because one person on that show, Charlemagne, said it gave big back energy. Big back energy, if you guys don't know, is you a big woman. And if you watched Tyler Perry's one of the marriage movies, I forget the name of it, the bigger woman was going up the mountain to go get her man, and they were saying it's basically giving big women are desperate. So this is what I'm saying. They give all of these problematic views to millions of people, and people are saying that this is okay. They're not being called out, none of the above. And it's very similar to me with conservative folks. They can say all these problematic things on their channels. When Donald Trump was president, he said a lot of problematic things, racist things against the LGBTQIA plus community. Had people out there under Donald Trump. People was driving up and killing folks just for being different. You know what I'm saying? Like this is what it leads to, and giving them more of a platform to expand this kind of toxic rhetoric, this problematic rhetoric, this misinformation. I think it will always be. I don't care who you are, what color you are. I don't care if we look alike. I don't give a damn. If it's problematic, it's problematic.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah,
well said.
Yeah, absolutely. Go watch Ole's video because it was
Please do.
really, really good. She kind of breaks down like things that like white people aren't going to know about, right? Like how your proximity to whiteness like will change the way that you're perceived, to where like if you are a darker skinned Black woman, you're perceived to be more masculine, but if you're a light skinned man, you're perceived to be feminine. But still, there's benefits
soft.
for being soft.
But your proximity to whiteness is actually going to still be beneficial, even though you're considered softer because of that. It's like this is so much stuff wrapped in, and then when you
and that was
it all
makes
sense.
But that was taught to us. That was instilled into Black people, that colorism situation, and that's why I say I had to learn to accept who I am because of that. I remember this girl told me when I was in middle school, she was light skinned, taller girl. I mean, she was a big old giant, right? I would be like, she gonna be a man. Like if this is back in the day, but she told me because I was dark skinned, and because I had a deeper voice at very young, that people are going to see me as a man. And because I was my personality is super dominant. And this is what was instilled to us. They made us think that the softer, the lighter they were, the softer they are, the softer we perceive them, the closer to white they are. And that's just something that white folks put in us. If you mix, you got a little bit of white in you, you got a little Cherokee, you got a little whatever, you're better. And if a white person at a job tells you, wow, you're not like them, just take that as a stamp of approval, right? Because that's you're not like them. You wear your hair different.
You're one of the good ones.
Yeah, you're the good ones. Back in the day, you took that as a stamp of approval. I'm not like them. I'm not I'm dark skinned, I'm whatever, but I'm not like them. So this has been something that it's going to be hard to break, especially because of how it's systemic, how we view each other. It sucks that way. My mom had to tell me, girl, you're okay. Your hair is beautiful. Like just because it's a little thicker, it doesn't mean that's not long. Just because you are dark skinned, it doesn't mean that you're not beautiful. And I had to have that conversation with my mom. So
I feel for you with the hair maintenance. I feel for you with hair maintenance, friend, because I have come to learn so many things. Like I've read so many things about Black hair, and he's like, I am blown away. I honestly, kudos to you. Because I'd probably shave my head and wear wigs, and just live an easier life, because I feel for you.
Well, you have an easy life. You got the straight hair. Now that's what we have to learn.
No. I this is not normal. Okay. I'm not. No, my hair is a frizzy mess if I don't do it. It requires some maintenance, but not like your maintenance.
So we had to learn, and they made us think that maintenance with our hair is troublesome. So I like that we have the choice to choose if I want to wear my hair straight, if I want to, because going into journalism, I was told at my HBCU, because at the time, again, time matters, right?
Even there, they had issues with how you wore your hair.
They had to tell me, Rebecca, you are dark skinned, and in order to get a job in local news, you're going to have to wear your hair straight.
I would say maybe not big hoop earrings would probably not be like a
but I'm glad that today things have changed and I can wear my big hoop earrings and still.
Oh, I love that, but I'm old school journalism. No, but like,
I get it. No, I get it. Back in the day, it was studs. I had to wear my hair straight. I had to wear minimal makeup. I couldn't do my nails the way I did because they would associate that with ghetto. Today, I see white women all the time. They wear hair that is unnatural colored, and they have tattoos, and they're wearing like bright colors on their nails, and they don't get deemed white trash. But if I, to this day, were to do that on certain platforms, I still get deemed ghetto or whatever. And I hear me tell the story all the time. I was working for a company. People said that I spoke very well. And I do have degrees in journalism, and they told me that I gave BET on mute because my hair was big and because my nails. So I had to learn not to give a damn about that because I know I'm qualified. When it comes to the hair thing, I had to learn as well. Again, it's not, they told us systemically that it is crazy maintenance. But once you learn how to love yourself, and you know this is just how your hair curls, how you can just really wear your hair out the way that you were born with it.
I just know it's work.
Yeah, it's not that much work for me.
I think what's at the core of everything Rebecca's saying, though, is that what is considered professional in the workplace is more white, right? Do you look or act more white? Is your voice more white? Is your makeup more white? Are your earrings more white? Is your hairstyle more white? That's professional. Be a professional. Please dress white, be white, have a white voice when you talk on the phone. Please don't try and use
your strand of
slang or anything like that. Exactly. That's what the professional standard is supposed to be.
Yeah, and I'm glad that now, and that is also what prohibits me from getting some opportunities, because I chose to be myself, like just be who I am. And again, like I know the professionalism in journalism. You might call me, like I said, some days I'll be like, dang, Rebecca, you getting old, because what they call in journalism today ain't journalism. But at the same time, what's accepted, what has always been accepted, how white people can move through it, is still problematic for Black folks. Women having to wear their hair a certain way is still considered a big deal. You always see it online, like, yes, wear your braids, sis, when it shouldn't be that much of a
why
problem.
Are we pointing that out?
Yeah, you should be able to wear your braids.
I will tell you an interesting story. Once when I was practicing law, this is in Texas, and I had to drive down to a little town called Poteet and go to their little county courthouse. And I'm standing there and I'm wearing a pantsuit, because I'm not really a dress or skirt person. I'm really not. And I'm wearing a pantsuit, and I was very professional. And I kid you not, I won my motion, and this judge looked at me and said, I assume the next time you're going to be in my court, you'll be dressed appropriately. Because I ought to have been in a dress with pantyhose, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not that old. Like this was like in 99, maybe like 98, 99. And and I was dressed inappropriately for wearing pants. Wait, no, you're muted.
No, you're frozen.
So we have, am I frozen?
There we go. No, you're good. You're good. You're back.
So no, but I said we have issues being women already, right? Just period. In this country, around the world, like being a woman is already like you're low tier. And then so they want to see you in the pantsuits, the skirts, the pantyhose, the heels. You got to have your hair a certain kind of way. You got to look business casual. And then being Black on top of that, we have to do that regardless. If we change any little thing, they're gonna be like, oh, this ghetto woman, she's unqualified. What is she going to come here with? She's not, like, who is she? They're going to, if you walk into somewhere, they're going to not even expect you to be the lawyer, to be the representation, to be the person that they're not going to expect you to be that. And
they'll assume you're the court reporter. They'll assume you're the nurse. They'll assume you're the court reporter. Or they'll assume that. Yeah. I stopped assuming so long ago with this crap because it really makes an ass of you and me. But you know what I mean? Like, it's just it's so off the wall. Like, I don't ever assume anything anymore. about people.
And you said that was 99 and you ain't on the internet. And we in 2024 and we're still having to deal with that in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
So
But I am not wearing pantyhose. And if anybody ever suggests that to me, I will have a bonfire of pantyhose on their front friggin' lawn.
Yeah, I love a good pantyhose. Don't get me wrong, with a good pair of shorts. You just how you pair it, right? It's just how you pair it.
Oh God, it's so uncomfortable and confining and
What did y'all think about John Cena at the Oscars? He's apparently
didn't see it. What'd he do?
Yeah, what'd he do?
He came out completely naked, except for a small card covering his crotch. That was basically the only part. But otherwise, he was completely naked.
What was it for? Like, what was he promoting?
He was presenting best costume, but he forgot one. That was that was.
He's also promoting a raunchy comedy on Amazon Prime. That
I was going to say. I mean, not that I would mind necessarily seeing John Cena.
John Cena?
Oh, I recommend looking it up just for research purposes.
I'm sure he looks pretty fit. So I mean, I'm sure
he
that
does.
It would be
You know what's wild? He looks crazy good.
Does.
And all the discourse was about how he's been emasculated. This is the forced feminization of men, and this is cuckoldry. That's what it is. They said it's called the humiliation ritual.
You literally cannot shame or humiliate or emasculate a literal professional wrestler by having them go out there wearing little to no clothing. That's literally what they signed up for.
Confident man. Yeah, but John Cena is someone like he is extremely like I find him humble and fairly self-deprecating and
he's
seems
very
like
nice.
a really
Yeah,
nice
he
guy.
seems like a very nice
And
person.
He follows me.
Really?
He follows a lot of
people.
Yeah, I know. Whatever, Matt.
Just us.
He's one of those mass followers. He just follows everyone and everyone.
Don't
Sorry,
take
Mike.
away from Mike's follower. Like he follows Mike, and that's all right.
And Lance.
Yeah.
These are
And
dubs
Lance.
for
What
us.
about my follow? I gotta follow.
Talking about he follow everybody. It's okay. He followed them.
Something tells me he's not following us because he likes our political takes. Let's put it that
Why
way.
not? Why? Why would he be following you?
Yeah, he just one of those mass follow. Like he just follows everyone and anyone on Twitter.
Oh, I see. So like if you so he
Binder's just jealous.
Yeah, I actually don't like John Cena. I'm trying to big time him since he follows me. It's no big deal. I don't follow him.
I don't know what his politics are.
Really? Are you that ridiculous?
I know. I don't know. I probably do. I'm not sure. I can check. Now I feel bad.
John Cusack is promoting me, which is really cool.
John Cusack is a sweetheart.
He's been promoting me. Yeah, we have some interesting followers. It's really interesting, like people. But apparently, as much as John will promote, he will not donate. So I try.
I do follow John Cena, so it's all good between us. Me and my good friend John Cena.
There you go,
John.
He's granted the most Make-A-Wish wishes out of anyone.
Wow.
Oh, he has. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, shout out to John Cena. He's still kind of cute, so we'll shout out to John Cena. His body was good.
Not to ruin him for all you, but he did.
A man who looks like that naked. I don't understand.
Well,
How's
I
this
didn't
the emasculation ritual?
So I can't really.
I mean,
look like
sign me up.
Lance, you can hit the gym a little bit harder.
I know. I need the emasculation ritual. God damn. Fucking John Cena.
He's doing okay, but he has work to do. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Not a little. Maybe he needs to like just increase his amount of time at the gym or something.
He could drop 10 pounds. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
no,
for sure.
one thing that was really interesting to me is that like somebody said, well, what would happen if like Lil Nas X did this, for example? I don't know who said that on Twitter, but it was a really good point because it's like, okay, what would the conversation be? Because there's still this backlash, right? Oh,
they're shoving it down our throat. They're shoving it down our throat. It wouldn't have been about him being emasculated. It would be how we're being punished.
Listen, it's the internet. It's the world. Everybody's gonna have a problem with something.
Who are you talking about?
He's a super famous pop star.
Little
who's
Nas
also
X.
openly gay.
He's the guy. Yeah. Little Nas X. Do you know him?
No, I do. Like, is he
the one
very
that's
feminine? Is he like? Is there?
Oh, he did a striptease with the devil.
I'm just wanting to know, like, why would it be different if he came out with the card? Like, I have no idea.
He's part of the LGBTQIA plus community.
Okay, see,
so it's like, would he be?
That's why. Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah, would he be accused of like grooming, like if a gay person did that or something?
Are you kidding?
Which is really interesting.
It's the internet. No matter who comes out that way, some group of people are going to have an issue with it. Like you said, this John Cena comes out and they were like, "Oh my goodness, he's being emasculated. Look how they just make it.
The ritual.
They're doing this. They're
He's
forcing him
laughing
out
all the way
there.
to the
Forced-
bank.
forced
Emasculated.
feminization.
What emasculated?
Yeah, I never heard forced
Yeah.
feminization until so now I hear that. Like y'all teaching me something new every day, and I'm on the internet. But
Oh, we gotta start teaching you about furries.
Yeah, we knew.
I know what that is.
Why do you know what that is, Jen?
they run the internet.
I will tell you, okay. I have been to Comic-Con.
They rule
I
the
am
internet.
married to a complete dork. I have comic book. He does auctions in this studio. So
That's
anything
funny.
that has to do with like anime, comics,
Oh,
that
okay.
whole world, gaming, all that, whatever. I have a husband and 2 boys. So
Okay,
I've
interesting.
learned a few things.
Okay. That's
But I
what's,
don't know pop stars. I don't know, like, probably not a lot.
what's
You
your
don't know
favorite
current
anime?
pop stars. You give me
I
back in the
don't
day.
have any favorite anime. I just know phrases of things and names of things just because I hear about it from them. I don't want to participate in this.
You're forced.
You're forced.
Well, not now since we have children, he takes them. But before
These
then,
nerds are shoving it down our throat.
I was the original Penny from like Big Bang Theory when we were in college going to the comic book store, and it would be like, oh my God, there's a.
No, so you're vintage. You're kind of, I wouldn't say vintage, but you're old school.
I mean,
comic.
71. I was born in 71. So
Okay. So what's your pop star go to? Madonna?
Yeah.
well, I saw her. I've seen all of them in concert, which is amazing.
I can
back
see
in
that
the
for you.
day.
Yeah.
Like I saw
Chloe?
Prince Purple Rain at the Orange Bowl, which they called the Purple Bowl, and I was 11th row on the floor and watched Prince. Yeah. So like, Springsteen, The Who, like we saw all the good concerts, like that's the thing I feel best about. I'm not even that old, but we still had good concerts. No,
you're not that old.
No, I liked Madonna back then when I was that age. Now, I don't know. I'm not such a pop person, I'm more, I would go classic rock, even like soul, R&B. Like I'm more like, and not newer stuff. Like I'm old school stuff. Like I can sit there and listen to like somebody like Smokey Robinson. And I like watching.
He's in concert, girl. He's winding his waist in concert right now on tour. Baby.
I like watching young people
waist.
react to the music that I like. Like I love that. I love watching young people, especially people that grew up only listening to like hip hop, hear some of the songs and some of the people. Like I'm watching these people fall in love with like Dolly, who I love Dolly, or any of that. And it's just so nice. Or the Bee Gees. There's such a big new following for the Bee Gees by some of these young people. And it's
TikTok.
really cool.
TikTok is doing that for people. So once one of these older artists go viral on the Tik and Talk, that's what you'll see a lot of these old artists get go viral, and they start making their coins and on Spotify.
And they're like,
and
I've heard that before. Oh, so-and-so sampled it. I don't even know what that means. But like, and I'm thinking, yes, but they were original at one point.
Kind of like remix.
Yeah.
Well, that's been happening for a while. I'm glad that I grew up in an era where we had to force listening to the radio. So sometimes you couldn't listen to hip hop because hip hop wasn't coming on at that time. You had to listen to whatever was coming on on the radio station at that time.
Did you try to tape it? Did you try to tape it with the cassettes?
Yes, I did. We did that back in my day. We taped it with the cassette. We would do the record and whatever other the
two tapes.
Oh yeah.
You had to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you ain't at that old. We had to do that too. Now things are just moving a little quicker.
Very fast. It's so fast.
Yeah. Have you what's moving quick? I know I'm just gonna mention this quickly because I know it's a little hefty and a little meaty. So with what's going on in Haiti. A lot has been going on in Haiti. As you guys know, I am of Haitian descent. That is where most of my family, lives. And so a lot has been going on with Haiti. And they're basically in a state of emergency. The prime minister was basically ousted after meeting with Kenyan officials to bring in some help into Haiti amongst the war and a lot of the crimes and the governmental, the lack of governmental stability there at this moment since the assassination of our president 2 years ago. So with that being said, so right now there's a lot going on. It's funny because just in January, I remember conversations. There's a meeting with CARICOM, trying to say that in my American accent. CARICOM, there's a meeting without any true Haitian representation there, which I thought was problematic, which they were going to, and included US, France, Canada, Jamaica, and 2 other countries, I believe. And they all got together to discuss the state of Haiti and what that was going to look like in the future, how they're going to go in and help. Kenya has since backed off on sending in some militants
They got a
to
massive
stop
offer
the
from the
gangs
US too.
in
So
Port-au-Prince.
much money.
Yeah. And so it's funny because I say this to say that a lot of so the US in January said they didn't want nothing to do with it. I remember when a lot of Haitians were trying to come to the country, and they weren't able to come in after the assassination of the
Can I
president.
just ask where you live, Rebecca? I'm just curious because I'm in South Florida, so it's we're like
so
ground zero.
I'm from South Florida,
Okay.
but that's where all of my family is in Haiti.
Okay.
Actually in the capital.
I'm just
right
asking because
now,
it is so huge right here right now, and Sheila
Mhm.
Sherkowitz McCormick, our representative, has been like doing everything she can to like talk to the community and stuff. So
Yeah.
I'm sorry, continue. I was just curious if you were connected to South Florida.
Yeah, no, I am.
Yeah.
I'm from actually West Palm Beach. So that's where my mom and dad live at the moment, but all of my family is pretty much in PAP, which is Port-au-Prince, which is where a lot of the stuff is happening. So a lot of this, the news has been reported that's now being reported, and I'm glad that it's in mainstream media, but this has been going on for a while. When we heard about Ukraine and Russia, this is basically what has been happening in Haiti, even with the Dominican Republic. We've been literally at war, but the United States doesn't want to declare it as that for us. So, we haven't been getting mass deportations. A lot of unalived people from the Dominican Republic, our border. They're sending people over. They're killing people. They do all of the above. And that's been happening because people are looking for what? Safer environments. They're looking to just better themselves. Do they want to leave Haiti? No, but the conditions right now, especially in the city at PAP, is just unlivable. They can't. There is no stability. They don't have any kind of leadership, that true leadership there. And so when they tried to come here, we know what happened. They were all sent back. But Ukrainians, which deserved also to come here because of what was going on, when they got the opportunity, they got a little bit of a red carpet treatment. They got grace. They got, there was acknowledgement about what was going on with them, and the U.S. didn't want to acknowledge that. In January, when Haiti was asking for some type of assistance, they said they wanted nothing to do with that. They're not going to touch it. But now, during this time where there's no kind of leadership, Haiti has come, not Haiti, the U.S., as much as they had their hands in a lot of the things that are going on in Haiti, the U.S. now wanted to have conversations and allegedly urged, even though they now said that they didn't do so, but they urged the Prime Minister Ariel Henry to step down and for them to basically come together and take control over Haiti. And that's what Haitians do not want in the moment. And I say that to say a lot of the connections with Haiti, like South Florida, like Florida itself, with Governor Ron DeSantis, we know what's going to happen in this time. People are desperate. They're going to find ways to try to get out of there and go to any border, whatever they can. And I know because I had family members do this as well, to go get help. And whatever that looks like, risking their lives to go through jungles in Chile, through Brazil to get to Mexico. Now I'm saying all these things because that's out of the way, but this is their routes, right? To come and do that, to get to a Texas border, to be met with Border Patrol and treated like slaves at the border. This is what Governor Ron DeSantis is now trying to put in place as well. He wants extra security on the southern border amid what's happening in Haiti, saying that he doesn't want people to come here with what's going on. He doesn't want to give the help, and whoever comes there is going to be turned away. Like they're going to be shipped back immediately or dealt with, put into, to me, I call them like little concentration camps, for Haitians down in Florida. This is exactly how, to me, Black immigrants are always met. And I've told the story millions of times about, and under that Texas bridge a few years ago when they were coming here seeking asylum, and my cousin called me, and I was going to do the work to go pick them up. And I spoke to the woman who was housing them at the time, and it wasn't really housing, but giving them food and giving them advice about what to do. They didn't speak English, so I had to speak for my cousin. She was saying she never seen anything like this. She's been doing this for a while. People come to this border all the time. They take them in, they tell them what to do. But for some reason with Haitian immigrants, Black immigrants, it's just like they are treated the worst. She was saying she's never seen anything like it. So I just want to bring that out because what's happening in Haiti right now is not different than what's happening in a lot of these other countries that are going through war, that are going, like, so gangs are taking over. There are militants, groups, bad people, governmental crisis. There's no leadership, all of that. You know, people are saying that Haiti is the Gaza of the Caribbean. Like, and I can't unsee it, unhear it. I know I am connected to it by blood. I have people there right now who are fighting for their life every single day. We can't do nothing about it. If it's not governmental crisis, if it's not the actual war that's going on in there amongst the people and the government that isn't there, you know, if it's not that, we have the environmental crisis. We have all of these things, and where all of these other countries will come and take advantage of what's going on in Haiti and say that they're helping them build up money. I can name so many of your favorite activists. I can name your like all of these people, the Red Cross, all Hillary Clinton. This is why y'all always hear me on here and say I don't fuck with Hillary Clinton, because I know what happened there. If you guys Google, Bill Clinton sat before and apologized about what him and his wife did in Haiti. Yet that hasn't gone viral. That didn't make mainstream media. None of that. But he literally admitted to what he did in that country, in my mother's land. But you know, this is why I say, you know, they'll take advantage of it. They'll take an opportunity. They'll take land from people. They'll take money. They'll say that they will raise money and partner with people like the Red Cross and build, what was it, 6 homes. Hillary Clinton and the Red Cross, 6 homes during the earthquake. So this is why a lot of the Haitians are like, we are in such a crisis, but we don't want that to come and assist us anymore. We don't need that. So we need actual help that's going to make sense for the country. And so there's a lot of rhetoric going around, but I want people to understand this is just as any other country going through something. There is a lot of bad hands at play. There are people who want to take advantage of Haiti, almost obliterate it so that they can restart and take control of it. Why? Because Haiti is the first Black republic that gained its independence, right, from France, and we had to pay for that. That doesn't sound logic. It's not logical, but we had to pay for our independence and keep it there. And while we did that, we helped other Latin countries. We helped American states get their independence, and we are still treated like the bottom tier. No help, no nothing at all. So, you know, I just wanted to bring that, you know, because I know a lot of people are like, well, how do you feel about it? Because I am Haitian and because I am dealing with it.
I did want to ask you about that. Is your family okay?
Yeah. My family, well, if I say that they're okay, they're doing their best. Now, I can't imagine, I'm not there, but I do hear from them and what's going on. My brother, my oldest brother, who moved here not too long ago with his children, he goes back all the time. And the way that he has to go back is in an illegal manner. Like he you know, he has to go to a country that don't like us. And I have family that lives in that country for safety, and they have to live in a certain area. And I'm talking about the Dominican Republic. They have to live in a certain area to be outside of harm's way because what Dominicans are doing to Haitians. And that's the closest area that they can go and seek safety. Do they want to?
That's always been a problem.
It's always been a problem. It's always been a problem. I have a family member that just got to Chile. And if I tell y'all how she got there, you know, y'all wouldn't even believe it. So
yeah, no, I know about the whole thing between the Dominican Republic and Haiti and how they treat them and how we treat them. And, you know, I grew up here in the 70s. So like, I remember the Mariel boat lift, and I remember, I know I've seen the difference in how we treat Cubans versus how we've treated Haitians here. Like wet foot, dry foot, you call whatever the policy you want to, but just in general, it has always been just so stark. The difference. And I noticed it when I was little, and it has always been the case. And I have been saying this forever. It is just unbelievably wrong.
Yeah.
Have one policy. It should be like bus tickets instead of airfare, right? Like everyone pays the same price instead of like they can sort of pick and choose and like different people, different things. But no, we have always abused.
There's nothing, even, you know, when Donald Trump was president and how he called it a shithole country, and people ate me alive when I covered that story because I was so passionate about it. And I'm like, this is the same country that literally helped the United States, even when the United States literally put their foot on our necks, still assisted the United States when they needed assistance to free some of these states to get the, like a lot of these states came to because of Haitians.
We didn't forgive you. That's the bottom line. We are not going to forgive Haiti for having independence. We are
having the audacity to get independent.
Correct. It's how dare these slaves, how dare they do that? And so we will then punish you, cripple you financially for eternity, and treat you like horribly. And I have been seeing how we treat the Haitian people in South Florida. I can only speak for down here, but always bad. Always bad. It's always been embarrassing to me. Like, this is just not, it's wrong.
Yeah, it is wrong.
And the Clintons used it as like some sort of slush fund for the Clinton Foundation.
Oh yeah, and this is why I say, like, I tread lightly about that. I don't give a damn. Y'all know I don't cuss so much on the show, but I really don't give two fucks about Hillary Clinton. I don't care if she's a woman. I don't care what she's done. I don't care about the emails. I don't care about that because I know what she stood for, what she's done to my country. And I know even following that, like, her husband sat up there and apologized for what he did, but this an apology is a recognition. It doesn't do anything for what already happened. And he's not the only one. Like I said, this is historically because we had audacity. So
yeah,
they used us to assist. Other countries have used us to assist them in freeing themselves, including the Dominican Republic. All of that, their flags have our colors on there because we helped free them. A lot of Latin countries have that. Look it up. It's historical. We are very strong people, have resilience and all this stuff. But the way that what's going on and how they want to just say we've always been the poorest country in the Western Hemisphere, because that's how the United States and mainstream media always around the world always that's what they start with when they talk about Haiti, instead of it being the first Black republic of the world.
We benefit from you being suppressed.
Exactly.
And so it is what I mean, like it's again, I feel like it's just they've been being not you, but Haiti's been being punished for daring to not want to be that. And so we will now, like, same way we punish Cuba forever and a day for something that is really not anything anybody should be punished for. But Haitians have just been always treated horribly. It's so glaring to me. And it's just heartbreaking.
Yeah. And I remember when I was going off about Title 42, they utilized it for Ukrainians. They adjusted it for Ukrainians to be able to come in and do their thing. When Haitians were like, hey, can we come in on Title 42? Even Joe Biden decided, hey, I don't think so. We're going to pull back because we're going to use it under the guise of coronavirus being spread into the country. But then when I'm like, there's a stark difference because Ukrainians, what's the difference? Like they're coming from other countries.
We know.
They're coming here. But the difference is one of the communities are white, one of the countries are white, and then one of the countries are Black. So and so you got to stick to your guns on that one. And I don't care. Like I said, and again, I don't give a damn. I don't care who it is. It's Trump or Joe Biden. The action is like, this is what I'm seeing. You guys are choosing there, and there is no reason. There was no reason given. It was going under the guise of coronavirus. Ukrainians the same time. Coronavirus is a thing. But you guys wanted to help. They needed the help. They needed that. And so do Americans. But right now, Haitians. But right now, Haitians are like, we don't even want to mess with people on the outside. We need something. They're willing to go, like, even Russia. They're willing to get help. They do not want it because historically, what United States has done to the country.
So what's the best thing? What can we do? Like, what's the best thing for people to do right now?
So right now,
advocate for people in Haiti.
So right now, I would say this is what I'm going to say. Mainstream media is going to post these, like, a certain type of rhetoric, a certain type of narrative. I would say follow pages.
That's what every headline says right now.
Yeah.
Gangs,
Yep, that's what it is. And that is true. That's not the only thing. Why is this happening? They're not giving the why. They're not giving all those things. So follow pages like Jean Dews. I don't even know how to say that in English. Jane Dews. Faces of Haiti does a great job.
Creole. It'll be like the death of me down here. I cannot.
Haitian Times they're following it perfectly. They'll give you what exactly is happening. And I'm saying, if you can't get right now, nothing can really go into Haiti the way it's going. A lot of organizations cannot function right now the way it's going, because I'm going to tell you this. There are a lot of people Gangs are doing their thing, and gangs are being funded by governments that are connected to the US government. So how they're moving and stuff like that. This is not, I'm not making this up. This is not conspiracy. This is actually what is happening. And they'll see American officials there. Nobody knows that they're there, but they're walking the streets. They're doing, this is what's going on there. But there are a lot of Haitians who are like, we can't. So they're outside risking their life every day, fighting against these officials. They're at the airport. They're forcing officials out. They're trying to do this, but it's being viewed as almost like looting when we're outside and a black person has been killed at the hands of an officer. And what they're going to do is they're going to immediately going to looting and say, this is what black people are doing. This is a lot of what's going on. But like what I've been following is, I love the Haitian Times. They got people on the ground who are covering the story, who are putting themselves in harm's way, who are witnessing people get unalived. All of this stuff is happening every day in Haiti. So follow Haitian Times so that you can see what's going on, know what's going on, properly educate yourselves and advise yourselves on what's going on. I think that's what I'll ask you guys to do first. And as I get information,
that I can do. And
as I connect to organizations, official organizations, like I did a couple of years ago, where I was collecting things to send into Haiti, where I knew it would get there.
You have to know who you can trust.
So right now, we're not there. We're not there. I'm not there. So I can't give you guys that right now. But y'all know I'm good for it. And when I do get that information, I will let y'all know. But right now, if you want to know what's going on properly, right? And you want to get to educate yourselves correctly on what's going on instead of just going with what mainstream media is dropping on y'all. Because right now, all of Haiti is not in that, but the city, that city where everything is, we don't even have a White House anymore. Right? We have no actual leadership. The person that was supposed to take over while Ariel Henry only has stepped down, Guy Philippe, he can't even go in and he can't qualify as a president. So they don't even want the people to have a word in what's going on, because they're saying that they're not qualified to have the citizens of Haiti, that we don't want to hear their voices. So they want outside voices. And I'm thinking, I know that's very problematic. That is problematic to me. As much as Haitians may have a hand in something that's going on, like we all do in our communities. This is the thing. People want to say, oh, it's Haitians, they just whatever. In everybody's community, everybody is a problem. Okay. So what we know now is that doesn't mean that we don't deserve help. That doesn't mean that we deserve to be stomped all over and viewed as whatever. We know historically they want to keep us down. I just hope, because what I'm seeing now is very stressful. These days have been super stressful for me. What I'm seeing now, what I'm knowing now is just almost like how, with the way in the state of Haiti right now, it's almost like if I tell you guys I can see the light at the end of the tunnel, I'll be lying to y'all. Is
there any faction or any group? Like I'm gonna just go and do a ton of research on it, because I feel like what would be the group of people that you're thinking? Is there any group of people there that has the interest of the people there and is trying to establish?
There is, but they're not. Every time they're coming up to speak, they're being pushed down, because literally they will come up with a group of people. They have there are people, and this is what I want people to understand. There are people who are qualified in Haiti. There are people who have actual they have actual ideas and policy that they want to put in place. However, because the powers that be, they are not going to allow it. They have no voice. They have nothing. They look at Haiti as a small country that just isn't worth it. It isn't worth it. And so that's what is going on. But like I said, educate yourselves on what's going on. Please check out the Haitian Times. If y'all want to know what's really going on, it's a great page. Check out Faces of Haiti. If y'all want to see more than just the issues that surround Haiti, please check it out. I fixed my camera, but please check that out. It's that's going to help you understand where Haiti is and what's actually going on.
I'm posting the link to Haitian Times' Twitter in the chats for everyone to see. So
There was an interview with a group called Black Alliance for Peace on Democracy Now! They were also quite good. They're trying to do work apparently in Haiti.
I
an
saw that in the
American
chat as
organization.
well. I saw someone mention
Yeah.
that. I've heard of that. I think we had somebody on with Black Alliance for Peace. I think Margaret Kimberly is somehow affiliated with the Black Alliance for Peace in some capacity, because that sounds very familiar to me. Anyway.
But listen, the people that are trying to right now take over Haiti, it includes France. And mind you, we gained our independence. We rebelled against France. That's how we got our independence. And we had to pay for that for life. So that tells you everything you need to know. Okay. So that's one of the groups that want to go ahead and take over, and who told the world that we weren't worth nothing. And, they're like, to me, Israel, when it comes to Haitians fighting for their life. France to me is similar to, because they have the power. They're well known. They have allies everywhere. People are afraid to go against France. And Haiti, to everybody else, is just a little community, a little country, a little island country in the Caribbean. Meanwhile, we're very powerful. We that's how we gained our independence. A lot of other people gained their independence because of Haiti. So, but what France gave the world is that we don't deserve. We are not. We're just less than, and that's how the world continued to view us. Even other countries in the Caribbean continue to view us. So they don't care what happens with Haiti, but of course I'm one person, and I'm biased because I am Haitian. I care what happens to Haiti and Haitians in my family. And I care how people discuss it. So that's why I wanted to go ahead and make sure I clear the air, I clear the room on how that conversation will be had if I'm ever in the room. Yeah.
I care about the Haitians. I care about Haiti and the Haitians.
Yes, and thank you for that. I mean, I know you live in Florida. You better care about them.
I know a lot of them. Half the time I don't know what they're saying, but I love them,
and they probably talk about you, but it's all right.
I know. I'm sure they do. Whatever. No, I actually we have quite a few like local representative leaders, state legislators that I am friends with that are Haitian. And so it is actually a very strong community down here. And no, I'm just joking. They don't try to talk about me. I don't think
they probably do, but no, it's okay.
Okay. But I look, I'm a green guy. I do the best I can. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But
well, with that being said, it is 7:30. I'm not sure if you all wanted to get to super chat. Oh yes. 7:30 from me, 10:30 for.
It's early for you.
Everyone else.
You got a lot of time to be up. I got sleep.
Yeah.
I got work in the
morning.
morning.
Where are you now, Rebecca? Where are you?
I am in outskirts of Atlanta, but I'm in Atlanta, Georgia. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I was up there for the Cop City weekend thing that they had back in November, and it was so cool. There were so many different programs that they had at different places. It was really neat.
Yeah.
You guys have some issues there. You guys
do we? Girl, look, I'm coming from Florida. New York wasn't so bad when I was there, but it was terrible. But it wasn't so bad. And then now coming to Georgia, I'm like, damn, I would just go right up to North Florida. That's how I feel like. That's where I am. So yeah, it's terrible.
Yeah.
Well, we're at the end of the show. Y'all, I ain't gonna hold y'all. I'm sorry I ran my mouth. But I came late and took over. But yeah, if we want to read the super chats, y'all know I got about 2. We can do that, and I can leave y'all to it.
Go to town.
Yeah. Well, who's gonna pull them up?
Well, actually, first, Jen, if you want to.
I'm going to do my spiel. I have to.
Yes,
do. I'm being hounded by people on the text. So, guys, if you have any interest in supporting the campaign, we need all the help we can get. I am running as a Democrat. We addressed that in the very beginning. It's really strategy. It's not ideology. And I have 3 years plus of content on generational change with a J. So, guys, check that out. You can see where I am on so many things over the past few years. But our campaign site is gen2024.org. And you can find us on social media at Gen for Congress 2024. And help is very greatly appreciated in all forms. And by all means, in kind things, anybody who has any interest in helping, we take all help. We're just trying to Sisyphusian oust some sort of snakehead and You know, we have like a lot of theories about what this might change for South Florida. And it'll be like when the house lands on the witch and then the munchkins all come out and it just turns the color. Like that's sort of how bad it is down here right now. So if you guys want to help, we'd be very appreciative.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, well, thank you so much. We're gonna go into super chats. You
Go
are free
ahead.
to stay
It
as
was
long
so
as
nice.
you want,
Thanks for you
or
guys.
you can
Nice to
bounce.
meet
You don't have
It
to.
was so nice to meet you, Rebecca. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Yeah, take
It was
care.
great. Great to have you on the show.
Yeah, well, let's see here. I will go through. Rebecca, do you want me to do yours first?
Yeah, you know, because I'm gonna slide. Listen,
Yeah.
I know David ain't here, but at the same time, we out of here. Listen, I'm not here for a long time, but I'm here for a good time.
Okay, let me see. Through. How do you can tell based on the little link thing, right, Matt?
Yeah, but I can actually look in my chat and just go by that.
Oh, okay. I'll pull it up if I see it then. Okay.
Okay. JCast. I hope this was the first one. Let me see. No, it wasn't. So I'm missing one of them, but that's okay. Somebody sent me one earlier saying that they came into the chat to show me loves, and I don't see it right here, but I love you and I mean it. And thank you so much. But JCast, my grandmother turned 90 today. Please don't tell Mike though. I'm scared.
Where is she?
Shout out to your grandmother. I don't want Mike to go punch a lady in the face.
Happy
but shout
birthday.
out to grandmama. Grandma turning 90. Happy birthday. Spring baby. And then Smokey Rose, they wouldn't have been mad if it was Sid Sweeney. Not at all. Not at all.
Mm-hmm.
Omega Shinron Dragon. Did you add Shinron in there? Because I feel like it wasn't there before. Did everyone cover the death of Akira Toriyama? And does our esteemed guest know anything of Dragon Ball? Oh, does our esteemed guest know anything of Dragon Ball? What anime do any of you currently watch? Is Akira Toriyama the one that created Dragon Ball?
Yes.
Yeah, we talked about it a little bit in the super chats last time because it actually happened when we were reading through it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
I love Dragon Ball. Dragon Ball is probably, I don't know. So anything that looks like it, and that this could be terrible for me, but Dragon Ball, Sailor Moon, is that like Sailor Moon? Is that like
Sailor Moon is anime?
Okay.
It is
all right. I just want to say, I had
correct.
to whisper it to y'all so y'all can give me.
Yeah, I know. It's like
yeah, like
Nobody heard it
Dragon
because
Ball
you
Z-
whispered it to us.
I have to, like everybody can hear it, but I gotta whisper it to y'all. But Sailor Moon and Dragon Ball Z were stuff that I watched growing up. I watched Dragon Ball Z because we couldn't catch replay. So after school, you had to watch it live when it came on, and it came on every day, every weekday. And if you missed it, you missed it. They would do a little recap in the beginning, but baby, if you missed it, you missed it. We couldn't record at that time. We didn't have the DVR, so we would leave school and we would go in front of the TV, wait for it to come on, and we would watch it. It's like a soap opera, but it was good. I have Dragon Ball Z t-shirts. My favorite person is Vegeta. So yeah, because we have the same hairline. So that little widow's peak real deep in the front. Yeah, I love Vegeta. So what's the next one? Pawns Gambit. I'm born in DR, living in Miami, and find myself constantly arguing with people like my mom about the embarrassing treatment towards Haitian. Love you, B. I love you too. And I thank you for being somebody who is Dominican and is not being blind to what's happening. I have family members that live there. I have Dominican family members, and they have to live in almost like outside of regular living because of what's going on. So when I went there last, we had to be outside because they knew that we were Haitian. And a lot of the ones that were Haitian, they had to speak to us. Yeah, I was saying Sailor Moon to y'all. They had to whisper to us on the streets that they were Haitian in order for us to speak Creole to each other because they were afraid that they would lose their jobs or whatever the case may be. Again, Pawns Gambit with another one. Haitians paid France for about 150 years for freedom. We sure did. And I think it was, what was that bank? Some bank came to because of the Citibank. Yes, right. Because of that. Came in, took some money, and they got Citibank because of that. That's why I don't even fuck with Citibank. Okay? So, so here we go. That name again from last Thursday. Tunbosun Oyenuga. Oyenuga. The Leftist Mafia, episode 65, Becca's Hour. Sure was my 30
No,
minutes.
this was great.
We needed
I needed
we
to
did
be
not have
educated
Rebecca
on what was
last
going
week.
on because all I've been
and we
hearing
needed
about,
more.
all I've been hearing about it is Elon Musk running his mouth on it.
Yeah.
So to hear it,
It's so ridiculous.
so to hear it from someone who actually A, knows what she's talking about, B, has connections to Haiti, C, has good sources that report from Haiti. I sat back and I was educated, so thank you.
You're welcome.
It's not that it's not that I was like, oh, I believe what Elon Musk was saying before
but,
you.
Yeah, but I understand what you're saying. When that's like the only thing that you're hearing somebody speak about it or whatever, and even in mainstream media, it's kind of the same rhetoric, just different tone. So like hearing it, from I guess I have to.
I mean, he's going on about cannibals and shit.
Yeah, can we talk for 2 seconds about how the right say they're all anti-war? We're not for giving arms to Ukraine. We're not interventionists. And then when it comes to Haiti, they're like, they're cannibals. I saw a man eating a penis. There's video footage of it.
Yeah.
We need to invade right now. And I'm like, what is happening? Holy shit!
But they just said in January that the U.S. they don't want no parts of it. But see, whatever, they will take a one-off situation out of all, like 99, they'll take one. And they'll say, this is why we need to go and attack and do this and do that and whatever. And not help. Help. When they do send help, they send help. They raise millions of dollars and they build 6 homes. That country, literally, millions of dollars could do a lot for that country. $100,000 could do a lot. Like $1,000 for a city can do so much in Haiti.
Wasn't $100 million the amount that they were proposing for Kenya to send Kenyans over there as a military force because they didn't want the optics of white people suddenly recolonizing Haiti again, so they wanted to get black people to do it, but Kenya refused ultimately. But that's like Kenya, when I learned that, I was like, that's so fucked up.
Yeah, he just met. The prime minister just left there a few days ago, and Haiti was like, yeah, F the prime minister, F y'all, we know what's going on. So when he left, they went to the airport, Haitians, because we like to rebel. They went to the airport and was like, pull up. So he couldn't even land there. He had to land in Puerto Rico. And so the U.S. allegedly, because they said they didn't do it, but yeah, it's been reported that they did, urged the prime minister to step down. When that happened, Kenya was like, hey, yo, we don't want nothing to do with it. We ain't coming. We don't want nothing to do with it. That's it. So, and now the U.S. is reporting that they never urged him to step down, even though he said it too. The prime minister stated that. But here we are, and we're going to figure it out. But people like Elon Musk should not be the people who are in charge of telling this story. And that's what the important part of this whole thing is.
Because he's a racist white supremacist.
He's a racist white supremacist. Yeah. And people who are in Canada, people who are outside of it, people who are from places who historically have ties that were that have always were built to suppress Haiti because of their freedom. I don't want to hear from you either. So there are direct people on the ground who are reporting what's going on in English. So you guys can get that. Again, head over to the Haitian Times. There are so many other pages, but they're probably being Creole. So I don't want to throw y'all off. And the same way that we've been seeing in Gaza, there are images. Okay, there are images. There's everything that you want. They are out there. They're there. So yeah. But let's go to the next one. Kate Hartley, France, US, and Canada were like, hold up. We're going to fly down and help you pick a new government this weekend right quick. They sure did. They waited until all of this stuff hit the fan, where we had no prime minister. And they were like, oh, Haiti. Yeah, we said we weren't going to help y'all, but now y'all ain't got no real leadership. So we're going to come down and we're going to see about leadership for you. We're going to meet up with other countries and not have any representation for real for Haitians.
That's insane to me.
And then we're going to have a conversation. So that's what happened.
There's some more, Rebecca, at the top that I think we missed.
Yes, there is. Yes.
Okay, I'll go to the very top and just kind of go down one by one. Let me know if I'm missing any, but this is the first one I see.
Firmware, FRMware. UNRWA is doing what Israel is obligated to do as the occupying power, and Israel knows it. Andrew S. This is what I saw first. Nothing special, just showing support to Rebecca. Thank you, Andrew. I appreciate it. And then Tuesday is Illinois primary, Illinois 07 district in Chicago, progressive Kenya. I hope I'm saying Kenna Collins running for Congress again after nearly winning in 2022. A big election, hopefully. I hope that win comes for you guys. Good. We need good leaders. We need good leaders. We need good leaders. Please. I want people to have good leaders. I wish that on every state, every city, y'all get somebody that loves y'all and wants to take care of y'all. I hope that for every city. Smokey Rose, thank you for the 222. That is my angel numbers. They did the same to Michelle Obama. She's talking about when they called her. Remember when the conservatives was like, is she a man?
Yeah.
They stuck on, just like the tan suit that Barack Obama wore. They stuck
That's
on
still
that.
going on, actually.
They literally made, because she's a taller woman, a muscular woman, stronger woman, they made her feel, they put that out there that she was a man. And so many women, I would sit at places and hear conversations amongst white people, older white soccer mom white women in the early 2000s, and they will be having these conversations like, she's such a man. Like, that is a man right there. She's a man. Like, why would we have? Yeah, they were saying that. But the last one that I want to read is from Wiz Picks Tactics. The kidnapping of Ali Steed after being democratically elected twice was so effed up. Yes, and that's what I'm saying. There's a lot of craziness. And Ali Steed is the former president of Haiti years and years ago, over a decade ago. And yeah, there's a lot of controversy around a lot of our leadership because their connections with governments outside of Haiti. So Haitians, if they feel some kind of crazy stuff, they gonna oust your ass. They will. And that's just, it ain't always great, but this is something that happens in Haiti. So, but with that being said, y'all, I love you guys. Mean it.
We love you. It was nice getting our Rebecca fix. We didn't see you last week.
I know.
Yeah.
I was here last week. Was I here last week? No, I wasn't. Maybe I was.
You were in the challenge.
I think she was here.
Last week? Oh no, it was the week before, but we couldn't really talk because it was the State of the Union.
Tired, so I gave you guys nothing.
Right.
So
yeah, it wasn't a regular show last week. It was
and it wasn't regular Rebecca. So, but you know, here I am, and I will see you guys next Thursday. You guys have a good 15 more hours of your rest of the show. And I love you guys. Mean it. See you guys.
We love you. Take care.
I do have to say the number of super chats right now are lower than usual. So if anyone wants us to stay around for 5 hours, you better start letting super chats.
You know what? I am fine with a quick show. Getting off of here.
Yeah.
Lance, do you have any you want to?
I'll read some super chats. I got some small and some cute ones and some very personal ones. No, there's actually not a lot of text, so I could do this quickly. Abscondage, thank you very much for the $5. Joe needs to make a big splashy play to win the election, and giving Israel a real ultimatum and following up on it could be the one. If he was willing to do that, I don't see anything outside of some language being used every now and then, but I haven't seen anything. Like, he's more concerned now about, it seems like, building a port to be able to try and bring in humanitarian aid that's being denied directly by the Israeli government that he is actually funding by giving bombs to. So, yeah, I mean, would like to see it, but I don't see anything yet. Andrew S., thank you so much for being a member, and also thank you so much for the very generous 5 gifted Surf Times membership. And then JCast with the $5. Here you go, Lance. Take David's sick pay, and as I said in chat, that's the most valuable cash of all. If you send me David Dole's monies, it's extra valuable. And also, Aussie, Call Me Plant Lady, and Faye Molly, thank you so much for subbing. But I'm going to stick around for a little while, so I'll hang out and read chats.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to read them all, assuming they're for David Dole too, Matt, and then stop.
And I'll let you know when I see something. I just pull up mine so I see.
That's probably the easiest way to do it.
All right.
Okay. Hang on, let me get my windows in order here. Okay. First one here. This is actually from me, from American Wasp. Substitute Biden Harris with Newsom Whitmer, please. I'll take that. I'll take Harris at the top of the ticket and Biden being demoted. I just really worry about his chances. That's how desperate I am, where I'm like yearning for Kamala. Like, hey, Hive, let's go. What are we doing?
Right. Let's put if you're gonna float Newsom Whitmer, let's put Whitmer at the top of the ticket.
Yeah. I would agree with that too, for sure.
The bars in hell.
This one's for me. Charlie DeGenemer with a member super chat. Chuck Schumer apparently calling for Israel regime change rather bluntly was not something I expected. Right, like I mentioned earlier, listen, obviously as of right now in the United States, every single politician that has said something in terms of like, the Chuck Schumers and the Joe Bidens, etc., it's all just been talk. They have the power to actually do something, but it's just been talk. Mm-hmm. However, the what they are saying in recent weeks, but no, the recent past week has been a stark change to the usual rhetoric. Still, obviously, much more is needed, but it does seem like the cracks are there. It's chipping away. The activism, the overt actions of Israel. It's all coming to a head, and they're starting to realize that they might at least need to change course here.
Slightly. Yeah, just to be clear though, he wasn't calling for regime change. Israel has a parliamentary system, and calling new elections is just part of that process. So he was telling Netanyahu to call for new elections and hold new elections. A regime change would be a complete a different governmental structure, like a switch. Not necessarily.
I took it as the Netanyahu regime coming to,
but it's more of an administration, not an actual regime in like the general sense. You know what I mean? Like the regime of Israel, the Knesset, like a regime change would be, all right, we're going to a presidential system. We're going to, elect different, so just to be clear, like, because regime change would be what we did in Iraq. That's not what he's calling for.
Right. I want to hear Chuck Schumer go out there and go, from the river to the sea. Like, that's what I want to hear.
Not a chance. Not a chance. You're going to wait a long time.
Can you imagine with this, like, glasses? Listen, I'm going to say something. Okay, this one's for me from JP. $11 or euros, excuse me. Who said this? You just heard from Senate Majority Leader and blood-sucking parasite Mitch McConnell. Hint, he hates old people. I think it's Matt that said that. Not me, definitely. I love Leftist Mafia. Looking forward to watching the show tomorrow. What's tomorrow?
Well, if you watch the VOD, right? If you're...
I see.
Yeah.
I'm not going to read this super chat from somebody who sent in a rude comment.
I want to read the rude comment. Let me read it.
Well, it's about our guest, so I don't like...
Yeah. Okay. If it was about me, I would read it. Or if it was about David Dole, I would read it. But it's...
Yeah, if you're going to send us money to say rude shit, that's fine. Send us all the money you want, but we're not going to read it. So thanks for the money, though.
I will also take David.
Wait, did this person send it to... All right, didn't send it to me, so that's not one of my...
I think they sent it to David. I don't see it in mine.
That would make a lot of sense, wouldn't it?
David Dole's chat. Okay, so the next one...
That's what we get for bringing a nationalist on this program as one of the hosts.
But he's a rational nationalist.
Yeah, I mean, that's like basically... saying, oh, he's a moderate Nazi.
A national socialist, yeah.
Okay, so from Meng Tang, $5. Thank you, Meng Tang. Nice to see you. Humanist Report, can you ask Jen if she plans to help out Cori Bush with her PAC funding plans? We want her, but we need to keep the others too. So we missed this, but I don't think she's going to be helping out Cori Bush. The only way that I could see the funds being shared is if it was through like an organization like Justice Democrats or Brand New Congress. I don't even think Brand New Congress exists anymore. So I don't think that there would be any exchange in funds unless Jen were to win the primary, and then progressives might fund her and vice versa and whatnot. But like in terms of her just running as a primary challenger, I don't think she's in a position to really help other incumbents, unfortunately, but I know she would if she could. Okay, so this is from Donald James. It's a member super chat. Support Jen Perlman against Debbie Blabbermouth Schultz in Florida. Yes, for sure.
Mariano Rivera with a super chat. No state has reached communism yet. China doesn't claim to have reached that stage, but their ultra rich aren't permitted to influence the government like ours. I mean, I guess you hedged there with like ours at the end, but you better be sure that they are, taking part in the government in some ways.
Let's see here. JCass, $5. If potatoes are vegetables and tomatoes are fruits, doesn't that make French fries with ketchup technically a salad?
Oh, that one's for me. I missed it. My bad, JCass. But
by that logic, yeah, right?
Let me read it again. Hold on. If potatoes are vegetables and tomatoes are fruits, doesn't that make French fries with ketchup technically a salad?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess. Wait, do you eat fruit and vegetables in a salad? I don't. What? Isn't salad just vegetables?
Oh, that's true. Although some people are weird and they put raisins in their salads.
Oh, I think if you add raisins to anything, you're ruining a good dish. I don't like raisins on anything.
I agree.
I don't mind. I don't
like
mind
raisins
in a box. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
But you know,
it's not good with anything. Although
like raisins and raisins in like rice, raisins in rice pudding. Raisins in what else do people put raisins in? Just mashed potatoes, right? People put raisins in everything.
Oh
just
God,
stop putting raisins.
Okay.
Stop putting raisins in things, man. Just no raisins.
And this is a message specifically to white people. Stop putting.
Yeah, they put raisins in everything.
Shit.
Why? Just stop.
I don't understand why they do that. Yeah,
don't do it. Don't do it.
It's not okay.
Raisins in bagels? No raisins.
I'm fine. Okay, you know what?
Raisins are a
problem.
snack
I'm actually
food.
fine with that.
Why not put fucking cheese doodles in a bagel? Why not throw some fucking cheese doodles in your rice pudding? It's a snack food, okay?
Okay, so the next one is from me, from Philip Schwartz, $2. Trans rights. Thank you so much. Yes, absolutely. Trans rights always. Andrew S. The recent Alex Jones meme was hilarious. Him eating leftist ass. I love how he posted that. Like, he posted like a serious quote of himself, like, "I will eat your leftist ass," and everybody responded like, "Oh wow, you're an ass eater." And he's like, "No. I mean, like, I will literally engage in cannibalism, not that I will."
That's what the quote is from. He originally was talking about eating his neighbors. He's like, "I'm just gonna be completely honest with you, folks. If it came down to it, the apocalypse, whatever, zombies and all that, I would eat you. I would eat you. I would eat my neighbors," kind of thing. And he's like,
"I will eat your leftist ass."
Yeah. Yeah, it was really funny because I don't think he realized that saying eating ass meant something different.
They're turning the frickin' Alex Jones gay.
The quote didn't hit the way he wanted it to. So it was very funny. Yeah.
Hey, straight people can eat ass too, just to be clear.
And they do.
Right?
Yeah, they do.
Oh, that's true. He could have been talking about, leftist ass of the opposite sex, right? That's true.
Well, he's a chaser, so we should also add that. But
Right. 180K Chen, $5. Thank you so much. Just caught up on political vids. Was behind due to Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Awesome game. Exceeded my expectations. Hoping Dragon's Dogma 2 does the same. Co-signed 100%. I'm enjoying Rebirth a lot. Exceeded my expectations. Thought that the first one, the remake, was kind of mid, but I didn't grow up with the original, so it wasn't necessarily nostalgic to me, but I'm really enjoying this. And Dragon's Dogma 2 looks fucking amazing. So, yeah. Hope it's good. MC, $10. Please change the subject. Done. You're welcome.
I don't know what we were talking about then. So subject was changed.
You're welcome, friend.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Your $10 worked, obviously.
Yeah. ABS, Anonymous Bastard of Society, with $5. Hey guys, I seem to be in the area of a tornado storm.
Oh, damn.
Pray for me. Keep up the great work, guys. Man, well, you better take care of yourself. If you need to, take shelter. I don't know. Like, what are you supposed to do?
Hopefully you have prepper buckets. You got to get that Tim Pool prepper bucket combo.
Yeah.
Sure,
the
macaroni cheese with broccoli. I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah. Praying for you.
Yeah.
But seriously, though, hopefully everything's okay. That's pretty worrying.
Yeah.
We have this. I don't see
Bill
a message.
Haverchuck with. I think he deleted his super chat and then resent it with, maybe he misspelled something. There's another one from him coming up.
Okay.
Oh, nice. Typo double super chats.
I don't know if deleting it brings, I don't know if he gets a refund on that first one, but he gave me one anyway. Bill Haverchuck, thank you for the super chat. Regarding John Cena, first of all, I want to say, before I read the rest of his post here, if you are sending a super chat based on a very specific thing that we mentioned earlier in the show, what Bill did here is fantastic. Please
Yeah.
Let us know the
point.
context. Because if he just put hashtag
I prefer
release
the
Coyote
mystery.
versus
I like
Acme,
the guessing game.
I would have been like, what the fuck is he talking about? But regarding John Cena, now I know exactly what he's talking about. So here we go. Bill Haverchuck, regarding John Cena, hashtag release Coyote versus Acme. Yeah, John Cena is in. He stars in that that Warner Brothers movie.
Oh, you'll never see it. No
Coyote versus Acme that Warner Brothers is going to completely delete and never release in order to get a tax break. And from what I've heard,
same thing with Batgirl.
Yeah, but unlike Batgirl,
I don't get that. Like, you already spent the money making the film.
Right. Well, I've heard Batgirl is really bad. That's why it's not.
I heard the opposite. People in the industry were like, it was amazing. Michael Keaton's basically plays like Daddy Batman and raises her, and it's all super awesome. Everyone who worked on it loved the project.
Really? Okay, so
and like Coyote versus whatever Acme, they apparently had finished filming, so they were about to start post production. Whereas the Coyote one was like 95% finished. Like it was ready for
maybe that's what I
release.
heard.
Yeah.
But according to what I've heard, the Coyote versus Acme movie is fantastic. For people,
this is WB, right? WB Studios.
Yes.
They're
Warner
the
Brothers
idiots
Discovery.
who just released the Suicide Squad game that bombed, and then they're like, actually, we want to do more live service games instead of single player games, which it defies all logic. But I mean, okay.
Yeah.
I think that if you are going to do this, if you're trying to get a tax break on something like this, then the product that you're getting a tax break on, that's unreleased, should become property of the state. It should become public domain that anyone can watch and enjoy, and that's that. I mean, you're going to get a huge tax break on it.
Just the studio.
Hey, so yeah, and that way, either they do that or they are forced to release the movie. I think it will be leaked. I don't think this one's gonna, quietly go away. I think
and to be clear, it's not just the tax break, which is like, it's a bit, but it's not enough to try and justify the decisions. It's also because they're pulling the plug on certain properties because they don't want to go through with the entire. You have to pay a lot more money to release it. You have to pay like almost double the budget in advertising. You have to plan for international markets. You have to apply to the Chinese market and make sure you have an edited version that like adheres to their standards. So for those two projects specifically, they calculated it would save them more money to just cancel it altogether than continue the process down the road. But it's so foolish.
This is a movie based on Looney Tunes, though. It's gonna do good. Like, you don't need to do all that. You don't need to do much, honestly. You don't gotta do much. This is a Looney Tunes movie, a mix of animation and live action. People love that when it comes to the Looney Tunes. I mean, you spent all that money on Space Jam 2, which got terrible.
I was about to use that as an example of why people don't love these movies.
Well, Space Jam, the original Space Jam is fantastic.
Oh, yes, it is. I will stand behind that.
Not even just like nostalgia factor. It's a fantastic movie. Obviously,
fantastic soundtrack. Yeah.
No, it's a great movie. Space Jam. The first Space Jam is an amazing movie.
I haven't seen it since I was a kid, and it was my favorite movie. I don't think it would hold up.
It's true.
It's a great movie. Who Framed Roger Rabbit? Amazing movie. People love these sort of animated live action mixed movies, and when you got John Cena and you got Looney Tunes together, it's gonna. You don't need to sell it much. I mean, just release the goddamn movie.
So stupid. Next one here from JCast, $5. Thank you, JCast. I work with Haiti refugees, kind, hardworking people. It pisses me off how not just French colonization screwed Haiti over, but also the U.S. and Citibank. Yeah, it's really sad, and I'm still like shocked. I mean, I'm not shocked, but I'm just like taken aback by how quickly the Haitian immigrants that were here were sent back. Like, remember the viral photos of like the border patrol on horseback that looked like they had whips, but it turns out they weren't whipping them or some shit. They were deported so fucking fast. That was like one of the first major Biden policies, with regard to immigration, where he did that. That was him, and so yeah, it's sad. It really is sad.
Do not come. Do not.
Yeah,
come.
It's just, we're such a fucked up racist country.
Brian B with a super chat. Binder's shirt goes hard AF. Thank you. I appreciate it, Brian.
Yeah, let's see your
glad you like the shirt. Oh, yeah.
What's it say?
They Live
shirt.
Shirt.
They Live? Oh, yeah. Dope.
Oh, very cool. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good shirt. Yeah.
Wow,
That's
I like
good.
That.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's a great movie. One of my all-time faves, and you got Roddy Piper in there. I mean, it's
the greatest fight scene in cinematic history is in that movie.
It hits all the Matt Binder check marks on the list.
It's where
wrestling,
comes from.
Horror, sci-fi, a good political message.
Very good political message.
You got it all. The fight scene, it's a Matt Binder
all out of bubble gum.
All the great one-liners, yeah.
Okay, I'm skipping the next one because they are talking shit. And this person, Joshua, who sent this, you've been put in timeout twice. You're going to get permanently banned if you continue to talk shit about one of our hosts. So you're on thin ice. Watch it. I don't care if you're sending us money.
Mike is
Shut your dumb mouth and stop being stupid. Okay, you're actually like pissing me off. Every single time you got some dumbass shit, talking shit about one of our hosts that I'm not going to tolerate. Every single time. No, I'm not going to say who because I don't want to single anyone out.
Binder's like, I want it. Give me the hate.
Yeah, if it's about me, I want it.
The hate.
No, it's just one of our hosts. Yeah, and not going to tolerate that. So fuck off or be permanently banned or do better. But you get one last chance. So just FYI.
Talk shit about me, please. That if you need to talk shit about somebody, do it to me. Yeah,
he gets off on it. Actually, you might be feeding a kink.
You might be. Yeah.
So we have one for Rebecca.
I'll eat that ass.
Okay. Tara might have actually already banned them. Thank you, Tara. I appreciate that. Yeah, I don't want the negativity and the stupidity. Like I'm fine with constructive criticism, but that person is just being a dick, and I don't like that shit. So fuck off. Okay, 0PE. This one is for Rebecca. Let me read this really quick. Thank you for further discussing Haiti, Rebecca, and thank you, Lance, for mentioning Black Alliance for Peace.
My pleasure. I saw them on Democracy Now. They sounded pretty noble, to be completely honest with you.
I'm gonna have to check
in their cause. Yeah.
Okay, and then we have this one. I don't think this is for Rebecca, but let me read this. It's directed at her. Thank you, Rebecca, for sharing your Haitian experience. From Kathy Willott, $20. Thank you, Kathy. And then this one is for me, from Raven McQueen Live, $1.99. Trans Lives Matter. Thank you. Yes, of course. Brian
B with a super chat. I think I'm becoming more of an anarchist the farther left radicalized I get. I can't look at the U.S. government and not be completely disgusted anymore. Yeah, if you're gonna become an anarchist, make sure you're a leftist anarchist and you don't become like a anarcho-capitalist or something.
Those aren't anarchists, though.
Those aren't real anarchists.
No,
no, the real anarchists are leftists. Yes.
All right, I think the rest, with the exception of one, are for you. So I'm just gonna, or the next three at least are for you. So.
All right, Ryan Lennon fan with a membership super chat. Member for 8 months. Thank you, Ryan. President change in Israel does nothing as it does in every U.S. client state. There's another genocidal capitalist to fill the void, waiting in line like a dog. I mean, yeah, in Israel especially, you see the rhetoric coming out of pretty much every single politician in Israel. I mean, it's not going to change much of anything. In fact, if it'll give the U.S. politicians here the ability to be like, oh, it's look, Netanyahu's not in charge anymore. Everything over there is hunky dory. We could support them again. But I do think it's still interesting decision for them to get like this now. It does show that they're feeling the heat.
Yeah.
Cold Dog with a super chat. Do you think a legal case can be made against Chaya Raichek, aka Libs of TikTok? I'm worried about how close she is to Trump. Also, much love, y'all. I don't think so. Honestly,
I would say, depending on who you are and where you are, if you are a public figure who lives in Canada, we recently passed legislation that you can actually sue someone for forms of hate speech. So that might be something to pursue or look into.
I mean,
but I can't believe at this point.
Anything.
Right. Yeah. Well, I mean,
question is, do you have
we're
a
talking
case?
Defamation or libel or slander, that kind of stuff, right? In the case of Haya, there's got to be a lot of people where she has intentionally and maliciously lied that they are pedophiles or groomers, and that's affected their own workplace or their own standard of living or their quality of life. You might have a case there. I'm not a lawyer. Consult a lawyer. Nothing I say is legal advice, but I'm just saying I think there has been enough people that she's directly tried to imply that they're a pedophile. That can be life ruining. Like that can your the future employers might find your name when you Google you, and a Libs of TikTok archived tweet is still up there, if she deletes it, like she does to a lot of the people she accuses.
And I will say that probably you would have, if there is a legal chance anywhere, that is probably more likely than what I think most people think of when they think of legal action against her. And that is like for the bomb threats and things like that directed at schools.
Oh, right.
She's got too much plausible deniability.
Yes.
Right.
She is too many layers or degrees removed from what we know. Like if it comes out that she is much more.
She's been in mass shooter manifestos. That's
yeah, but you can't.
But I know she
can't. Yeah, it's not. People. That's not the same thing. I mean,
was it Haya Rychek or was it fucking Andy No? Was it Andy No or was it Matt Walsh? Was it Matt Walsh? Was it Christopher Rufo? Was it Christopher Rufo? Like any one of their fans could have been the person who's like, I'm taking guns to the drag show.
It's not even that. Unless she or any of these guys specifically directed them to do something. Just talking about a topic that,
But are you not inciting violence if you say this place is filled with pedophiles and they are molesting or mutilating kids, and then people take up arms as a result of you saying that? That lie, by the way, because that's what is leading to the children's hospitals getting the calls,
I think it depends whether she implies that something needs to be done about it.
She says they're coming for your kids in some of the posts.
I think. Listen, I'm not defending her. I'm just talking about.
No, I know. We're just talking about the legal.
There's especially in the U.S. and trust me, it's much safer to be here than in the UK. You could fucking get sued for anything. You see all these people apologizing to J.K. Rowling. In the UK,
I saw that.
It's like ridiculous. Trust me,
the
one
right
good thing,
to deny the Holocaust.
Right. The one good thing one of the things you could be proud to be actually be proud to be American about is that our laws protecting speech are really good, and they do work in our favor 99% of the time. So
I will say this though, like even though defamation is very, very difficult to prove, as Lance was kind of alluding to, there are some instances that I think that person has a good case. For example, Next Benedict's teacher. So Chaya Rychik shared a TikTok of him where he's saying, if your parents don't accept you, fuck them, I'm your parent now. And she called him a groomer. And then that led to so much harassment. He also said he was
fired for grooming. Like that means he was fired for having or trying to coerce a kid into a sexual relationship.
Now that could, if that could be a case because she's the one who started that malicious, libel. And
his life was ruined. Like he lost his job,
and it actually did affect him. He or she might have a case. Any sort of implication though that she could be legally held responsible for, the death of that student though is, I think,
I don't think she can be legally held responsible for that.
Right.
You could certainly sick. Did you certainly doing a victory lap over the fact that she's like, people owe me an apology, and I was like, an apology? Is this somehow better in your eyes that someone committed suicide as opposed to they were literally beaten to death?
I don't get the spiking the football over this. This is the same, literally the same thing.
Honestly,
the original thing was that what's the student's Next, right?
Next Benedict.
Yeah.
Next Benedict. The original claim was Next Benedict was attacked and later passed away based on the assault from other students. But now it comes out that no, the Next Benedict just committed suicide the next day. I mean, it's just as bad. I'm sorry. It's just as bad.
Oh, yeah.
It's disturbing to try and flip this as a win in some way, or that you're owed an apology. Yeah. It's like all the same things remain. Like there was an incredible toxic culture of bullying trans people. You specifically target a student that Next was fond of, by the way. Like there's a lot of the contributing factors to this. It's not that you literally told someone you should probably go and like attack the specific person, right? Where that's actionable, sure. But in this case, like, why in the fuck is she part of like, what is it, the school board trustees?
Like the media advisory council for the library or some shit.
What the fuck? Yeah,
it's so unhinged. And and there's also that report from the Washington Post that said that states that enact these anti-LGBTQ plus laws, they see more than quadruple in bullying. And so, like in that state of Oklahoma, the governor had signed a law forcing trans students to use the bathroom of the sex that's listed on their birth certificate. And come to find out, Next Benedict was actually a trans male. He used he, they pronouns. And so he got into this confrontation in the girls' room with people that were bullying. So we don't have all the details, but maybe it's the case that like him going into being forced to use the bathroom that he didn't identify with led to the bullying. I mean, this is a situation that could have completely been avoided, but the fact that he committed suicide doesn't necessarily change that climate that was cultivated by the adults, you know? So it's just, it's so sad. And the fact that she did that victory lap.
Disgusting.
I mean,
yeah,
I just want to, I see people saying that, Chaya Raichik is responsible. Listen, I think she played a role in everything that went on in there as well. Clearly, she played some sort of role based on the harassment of the teacher that apparently was a major, pillar of support for Next Benedict. And then that teacher left and, Next Benedict didn't have that anymore. Certainly there is a role played. We are discussing legal liability. And I think it's pretty clear based on, at least what, we're not lawyers, but based on what,
right.
I've read on and understand, I don't see a legal case to be made. Maybe there's a lawyer that knows the law way more, obviously intricately than I, and they do see a legal avenue there. But I don't see an obvious legal case here against Hayaraichik for this specific thing. I'm not saying that because I'm happy about it. It just is what it is. It's the truth.
But yeah, there's gonna come a time where she's gonna get caught like with a lesbian or something. Like I feel like, the universe is gonna pay it back. Maybe that's cope, but I feel like, it's already starting. Like she got into a huge spat with Ron DeSantis, who called her a grifter and a liar. I have a video
that was
about
a good
tomorrow.
That was a good let them fight. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean,
she is very clearly losing a lot of people. Like it's like she lost her backing from the Babylon Bee, which there seems like there's drama surrounding that too. Like they were not happy with what they were getting
decision
out of the money they gave her. You know what I mean? Like they were paying her, from what I understand, there was some good arrangement in her favor, and they would publicly, like the Babylon Bee guys would publicly call her out on Twitter for not creating enough content or something. And it was like clearly not a positive relationship between the two. I mean, listen, I thought it was great. I mean, you get what you deserve paying this woman to create this anti-trans content. I mean, but I'm just pointing out that she's burning bridges wherever she goes.
If you didn't know and didn't see it in the Taylor Lorenz interview, she doesn't spend a lot of time doing research or work. She doesn't know at all what the fuck she's talking about.
She's not smart. Like, listen, each of these conservative grifters, these right-wing influencers, they all do have a talent that has enabled them to do this very specific thing. Like, we can talk about the Ben Shapiros and the Tim Pools all we want, but they do know how to do what they do very well. That's why they've been able to it's a very specific talent that's basically only in this one very specific lane, online personality media and stuff, online talking heads for the conservative.
Hey, Tim Pool's a rock star. Come on. He's got a successful music career on the side.
But, it's
and Ben is a rap star,
right?
I mean, Alex Jones is a great. Alex Jones is a great example. The dude is a very talented broadcaster. There's no doubt about it. He's a very.
I hate that he makes me laugh.
He's a very talented.
He's
I
one
feel
of the worst
guilty.
I'm just like, I'm ashamed of myself.
She doesn't have any of that. She's not.
One of the least charismatic humans I've ever heard. Yeah.
She's not quick.
Painful.
She doesn't have charisma. Yeah. She doesn't have speaking ability. No. She's not witty. She's not, she's good at research or able to dig in, or she doesn't have like connections, sources to do scoops. She's got nothing. She's someone who fell into what she fell into what she's doing. and she has done nothing to actually live up to the expectations that her own audience sets for her. Mm-hmm. Like, you know, she's just like, all of her stuff is just people sending her stuff. She's done no original work herself.
It used to be easy though when it was just like chaos, right? She could just be like, this is a groomer, this is a pedophile, this is a groomer. And eventually people are like, yeah, you can't do that. Like, these are not literal child molesters. This is just like a teacher saying they're gay. That's the whole video, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, someone said, what were they expecting? They were expecting a conservative influencer, the likes of, you know, Charlie Kirk, or what's his face, the former Project Veritas guy.
James O'Keefe.
James O'Keefe. That's what that's definitely what
they expected. Though James O'Keefe, and they got cat turd.
they thought they were gonna get the one of those types that owned the anti-trans lane for the online right, and instead they got this absolutely boring, talentless loser, honestly, who can't even speak to what she supposedly believes in.
Yeah,
which is amazing. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you love that that's your opponent. They're very stupid, haven't thought about their own worldview, can't articulate specifically why they think that trans people shouldn't exist. It's honestly like a gift to us. And last week, just seeing the damage control from Shia Raichik and the Moms for Liberty after their disastrous interviews, like they cannot defend their positions, let alone can they even like articulate what the fuck their position is. So that is like one thing working on our side. Or really not on our side, just on the side of like humanity, right?
Yep. Same thing with Aiden Ross accidentally snitching on the tapes and walked away in Romania. That's just like the worst people in the world are sometimes just so silly that you're like, oh, okay, now I believe in karma a bit. There seems to be some cosmic alliance happening here.
Right. Sometimes they checkmate themselves, and you love to see it. We got a lot of that this week. All right, so the next one is from me, from Sir Gerbil with $5. Thank you so much. The Baileys must have become radicalized by TikTok to make Chuck Schumer call for regime change in Israel.
Does no one get this? You guys don't remember this?
I don't get it. I'm sorry.
Chuck Schumer has said before that he makes all of his political decisions based on what he thinks a fictional family that lives on Long Island called the Baileys would want out of their representative. Look it up. This is it is a hilarious story.
That's the most Chuck Schumer thing ever.
I know.
What would the Baileys think?
It is really one of the, and he has like very specific details too. About what hold on,
of his imaginary friends. That's not good.
Oh,
Chuck. All right, so here it is. This is from the New Yorker magazine in 2007 for you guys to know how deep I am in this world.
Yeah, 2007. Damn.
2007. Yes. Schumer says that he's accompanied everywhere he goes by two imaginary middle-class friends who advise him on all middle-class concerns. Their names, until recently, were Joe and Eileen O'Reilly. For the book's sake, we wanted them to be more national, Schumer said, so they became the Baileys. The Baileys live in Massapequa in Nassau County, that's Long Island, the town that is invariably known on Long Island as Matzo Pizza. The Baileys are both 45 years old. Joe works for an insurance company. Eileen is a part-time employee at a doctor's office. They worry about terrorism and about values. And they are patriots. Wait for it. This is how specific he gets on imaginary constituents. Joe takes off his cap and sings along with the national anthem before the occasional Islanders game, Schumer wrote. He elaborated. They're not ideologues. They're worried about property taxes. It's the tax they hate. That's what Democrats don't get. He has also drafted the Baileys in defending the CIA's human intelligence program. Had Joe and Eileen been in the room after the human intelligence screw up, they would not have indulged in the blame game, gutted the human intelligence program, or weakened America. The Baileys, Schumer said, sometimes dine out. Not often, though, because of the cost. And they like Chinese, which raised the question, what would the Baileys eat if they were here at Hunan Dynasty, I guess that was the restaurant they were talking to Schumer at the time, the more conventional stuff Schumer said, but they're with it.
This is so
wait, it continues. They're with it. I mean, they're not with it. Schumer looked at a plate of steamed chicken and vegetables and said they wouldn't order that. They would order Kung Pao chicken.
Oh my God.
It was suggested to Schumer that he is a little bit weird. He acknowledged this to be true. They're real for me, he said. I love the Baileys.
What? That is not okay.
As swing voters, Schumer said, the Baileys were very anti-Hillary when she ran in 2000, but they voted for her in 2006. He went on, they like Rudy. It depends on how he plays it. If Rudy continues to adhere to the right-wing Republican line, just cutting taxes for the wealthy, he won't get their vote. I'm guessing the Baileys aren't Rudy fans anymore. It turns out, Schumer said, as he ate an almond cookie, that there are some actual Baileys in Massapequa, and he once met a couple of them. Mrs. Bailey was a kind woman, very nice, a nice lady, but the actual Mr. Bailey was a Republican. Even worse, Schumer said, he had a goatee. Joe Bailey would never have a goatee, Schumer
said. That is the weirdest shit I have ever heard in my entire life.
Yeah,
this man should not be near power.
No. Sir Gervil, thank you for that deep cut. It seems like only you and I got this right off the bat.
I didn't.
Wow. That is a deep cut. I wonder if Mrs. Bailey pegs Mr. Bailey. Like, does he really get real deep into the lore with it? Like, I'm curious.
See, it helps to have an elder millennial here on your broadcast, you know? It helps to...
All right, so the next one here is for you.
Tun Bosin with a super chat. $10 super chat. Thank you, Tun Bosin. Shooting on the A train at Hoyt Schermerhorn. The story behind this kind of wild. The police precinct is built within the station, so cops should already been on this. Yes, I heard about this. The videos are, wild. There was a fight on the A train between two guys. One of their girlfriends or their friend that was a woman was with them. So guy A starts the fight. Guy B's woman friend stabs guy A in the back or something. And then guy A pulls out a gun on the train. Guy B and guy A start fighting. Guy B somehow gets guy A's gun and shoots guy A, the guy who originally introduced the gun. This is all happening on the train. There are videos of people screaming, crying, laying down on the floor so they don't get shot. It's horrendous. And the point here is that, like, the point of bringing it up on this show, so it's not just like a local news story, is that remember Kathy Hochul and Mayor Eric Adams working together to put more NYPD officers in the subway stations?
National Guard.
Sending the National Guard into the subway stations.
Gotta check those bags.
Setting up bag checks. And then on top of that, this is a station, like Tom Boson said, that literally has a precinct built into the station. Like, they're right there. And they didn't stop this. The security theater didn't stop it. I mean, cops do not prevent crime. I'm sorry, they just don't.
That's because they've been defunded, Matt.
Yeah, true.
They've been defunded. Tom Boson with a follow-up super chat. In the end, police are just a reactive force, and adding more does nothing to remedy root causes. Yes, I mean they just don't. I mean, if you're actually going to spend money on police, like it should be to like, but they don't care about this sort of stuff, to be like to solve actual like cases that like actually already happened, like things like that, like the go through the backlog of, there shouldn't be a backlog, for example, of rape cases. Like, if you're going to actually spend money on police, have them actually do things that police can actually do. Like the very few things they can do, they could solve, but that's not a priority. They don't prevent crime. They just do not. They do not prevent crime. Putting more cops on the streets does not do anything to prevent crime. It just doesn't. It just doesn't. In fact, it heightens tensions in communities where this happens.
Mm-hmm. Next three.
And it results in more innocent or unarmed people's deaths, honestly. That's what you get. Tony Rizzo with a membership super chat. Insert context-free comment here. Ooh, Tony. Doing the opposite of what I recommended. Wanda with a super chat. Great show as always. I even kind of miss David trying to end the show early. He will never succeed. He will never succeed. He's welcome to leave early. He's welcome to leave early, but he will never succeed in shutting us down early.
Unless he presses the end stream button and then you have no choice.
I will restart the stream.
Remote.
Looney Tunes 9000 with a super chat. Very relevant username with the super chat message. I agree that WB needs to get the Coyote film out. Shocked here, Looney Tunes 9000. Agree with that.
This one's for me. Critical plug, $5. Thank you. This one is from Matt Binder. When are you and Fantano going to do an emo tier list? That would be amazing. That would be amazing.
I would love to do that with Fantano. We could do a folk punk list, maybe. Could do straight up punk list, a hardcore list. Could do a bunch of different lists, but I think the emo one probably be the most mainstream available one. I would do it. You should reach out.
You gotta bring Fantano on.
He's the one with the bigger he's the one with the huge platform. I'd feel weird going up to him and being like, "Hey, Fantano, have me on," But if he invited me on, I'd be honored.
Follow up.
I don't like asking people with large platforms because it seems like I'm trying to,
clout chase.
I
feel the same way.
Unless they specifically did something that made them a story to have them on my show to talk about what they did or the story they broke or whatever. I wouldn't just reach out to someone and be like, have me on your show. But you know what? Maybe I need to do that because I get emails all the time from people pitching me to have them on my show. And I don't look at them negatively. It's just part of the business. But I feel, like I said, I'm really bad at self-promoting. It's probably hurt my career throughout the entirety of me doing this. But I really feel dirty self-promoting. I can't help. I got to get over it eventually. Mm-hmm. Maybe soon. Maybe when I'm 40. Critical plug with a super chat for me. I could have just sent you this to you directly, but what are some of your favorite emo bands? Oh, you're gonna have to wait for the Fantano tier list for that one, my friend.
Simple Plan, baby.
Oh boy. No.
All right. Chris Corcoran, $5. Thank you so much. Matt Walsh is just as boring as Chaya. Also wouldn't be shocked if he has skeletons in his closet or more specifically in his case, his hard drive. Yeah, so the thing about Matt Walsh is that I think that, his delivery is more monotone, but there is a level of intelligence there that allows him to get out a point and get the talking points out.
He's a quick talker. He's not fun. Like, we don't find him funny, but he's got a wit to him that appeals to the conservative base. I see the appeal of Matt Walsh to that audience. He can hold
an audience. He also speaks to crowds. Chaya would never be able to do. Like, imagine Chaya talking to like a college crowd that's like booing her and heckling her. She wouldn't be able to do that. And that's like, I don't know that I could do that. It's not necessarily, a fault to her. A lot of people can't. It takes a lot to hold an audience. There's specific strengths you've got to work to. Her strength is just like sharing videos of teachers that she calls pedophiles, and that's it. You know what I mean?
Right. I mean, yeah. Listen, I get what you say. Like Matt Walsh is very like he's got a monotonous voice, very monotone.
Yeah, he's pretty
dry
monotone.
him and Haya are the two most boring people.
He's not. He's not appealing to me. Like
that's why they're both so horrible, because they're so boring. That's why they have to go so much harder than everyone else and be like, this is child mutilation and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah. But with that said, he does have a wit about him that Haya Rychek does not have.
She has no. Yeah, there's like nothing. She's like one of these 90-year-olds on Rumble. I don't think Matt even has with a podcast.
I give Matt nothing. Yeah, honestly. There's a lot of bigots who are also entertaining to me. Donald Trump, Alex Jones.
No, he's not entertaining. He's not entertaining. I'm not saying he's entertaining, but if you look, if he's put on the spot, even if it's not a great answer content wise, he's able to talk his way out of things in a good speech.
I guess when he was caught in a lie on Joe Rogan, he was like, Media Matters is going to have a field day with this. And
right. Yes. That's
more Haya Rychek would say. She would be like, we're a nation of truth, and I believe in truth, and this is true.
Right.
There's
a quickness about being able to do that, to just basically get off of the topic that he has that she doesn't have. Like you saw it in the Taylor Lorenz thing. She could have easily just swatted any of these topics away, moved on, but instead she just sat there like a dolt.
And she takes herself too seriously. She overplays the victim. There's no humor. She's a charisma vacuum. She's negative charisma. And that's why she thought, okay, she built up this huge Libs of TikTok platform, and then she came out, she revealed her face, and she's like, now I'm going to be famous. And it was like, who? What? No, go back to posting the queer people. That's we don't give a fuck about you, lady. What the fuck is this?
That's true, actually. She hasn't been able to convert that into a different career.
Yeah, she wanted to be a podcast host. I don't know, a fucking actress. Who knows what she wants? But nope, get back to posting TikToks. That's all we want you for.
Calling people pedophiles. That's it.
Yep. You do you. That's your strength. Okay, the next two are for you.
0PE with a super chat. Matt, please tell me you remember Schumer's frat house from a few years ago. He lived there with another congressperson, and New York, maybe you meant to put. I'm not sure. It was nasty too. I don't remember Schumer's.
What is with Schumer?
I don't remember Schumer's. I do know that every graduation he attends, he tells the same speech about not going to study abroad because of a girl he was interested in or something like that, and that didn't work out or something. He tells the same speech at every single graduation he goes to. That's a long-running Schumer thing. But the frat house, I don't recall that one. The Real Alpha House, CNN 2013. Dick Durbin? That's the person he lived with?
What?
Don't know.
What looks and feels like the most rundown frat house on campus is actually the Capitol Hill home of some of the most powerful men in Washington. Welcome to the Omega House, joked Dick Durbin, who is the second-ranking Democrat in the Senate. Remember, this is 2013. This is where I've lived for 31 years, boasted Chuck Schumer, the Senate's third-ranking Democrat. It's hard to believe half the Senate Democratic leadership lives in these conditions together, but they have for decades. When Rep. George Miller, Democrat in California, the third roommate and landlord, came in the door, he immediately ribbed the senators as deadbeats. You guys get the rent from them? Asked Miller. The house is so legendary that it inspired the new television series Alpha House on Amazon. What? I don't remember this, actually.
Yeah.
I don't remember this.
Bay Photo says in chat that Chuck Schumer still uses a flip phone. I believe that. I definitely believe that.
Friends, I got to take off. I got to take Chico out. I love you both. I'll see you.
Love you. Take care.
Thursday. Yeah.
God bless.
Bye.
We are down to our last two. So this one is for you. The next one's for me.
Celeste. Thank God for music. Casey Musgrave's new album is dropping at midnight. Any new music y'all are looking forward to? I don't really, listen to music that way. Like, my favorite band is dropping. No, I just sort of peruse whatever's out there, and when it comes out, it comes out. Or I don't
Mhm.
really wait for release dates. I don't listen to whole albums usually.
I'm the same exact
not
way,
like that.
actually.
Not like that. Where like if I discover an album, I'll listen to it if I like a few songs off of it. But I'm not like, oh, this album's dropping, I gotta listen to it right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm the same way. When I was younger, I would be really excited for like certain releases, like, oh, there's
Right.
the new Kanye or Nicki Minaj. Now I just kind of like, I'll put on what's popular on like Apple Music and just let it play. And if there's something I like, I'll like add it to a playlist. But yeah, I couldn't even like name a lot of the artists that are in like my playlist. I just listen to it and I recognize the song. Every once in a while, there'll be like an R&B artist that I've been following for a while, and it's like, okay, I'll check out their album. But yeah, I'm just like Matt.
Oh, thanks to the Surfs TV for rating me on Twitch. Hello,
Whoa,
Surfs TV viewers.
that's a big channel.
If you're unfamiliar with what we do here, it's a show called Leftist Mafia. We talk about now. I love doing this every week, just like I love pretending someone got kicked off the show every week.
We will beat these jokes until they are dead into the ground and keep beating them.
I mean, they are already dead into the ground, and here we are still going with them.
Okay, Evan Christensen with $4.99. Thank you, sir. Frustration is understandable, but no politician is irredeemable except Republicans, because your opposition today could be an ally tomorrow. I think I kind of disagree. I think that there are politicians that are irredeemable, because they have such a big impact that like it's not like a regular person where sometimes we'll fuck up. Sometimes I'll say something mean to somebody, but that's
John
not
Fetterman
a
is
big
irredeemable.
consequence.
John Fetterman is irredeemable.
Right there you go. Yeah, but
I'm
like,
sorry.
They vote
it's
on
done.
policy of immense consequence, and like what they do sets the agenda for the country. So I feel like, yeah, it's just everything they do is magnified because they have so much power. So yeah, I think that some are irredeemable. John Fetterman being probably the best example. Okay, well, you know what? That is it. So the last thing
over
to
on
do...
Twitch, hold on. Over on Twitch, I do have Hypervisor subscribe for 1 month at tier 1. Thank you, Hypervisor. Aussie Kami Plant Later resubscribe with Prime subscriber for 7 months. Thank you, Aussie Kami Plant Lady. Go on more shows, Binder. Spread the lefty good news. Haha. I would if you have a show you watch, doesn't even have to be a politics show. I feel like I'm a pretty entertaining guy all around. But any sort of stream, show, podcast, I don't care. I'll go on anything if they would like me to, if they invite me. So just reach out to them and say, hey, you should have Matt Binder on the show.
All right. Do we want to rate Cosmopolitics?
Oh, who should we rate? Cosmopolitics? Is that who we...
Yeah, she's on.
Mm-hmm.
She's good people.
Let's see. I'm looking for Cosmopolitics. Hold on. Is she on? I don't see her. What's going on here?
Yeah, she's on.
Oh, there we go. I do see Cosmopolitics.
Yeah.
Hold on. Don't click that raid button yet. Did we already read everything? Already making sure that we got everybody. Don't want to leave anyone hanging. All right, folks. This was the show. I had a lot of fun. It was a great episode. Anything you want to promote, Mike, before we go? We're ending early, so I feel like we got a minute to promote our stuff.
Yeah, everybody go check out my new movie. It's called Dune 2. It's playing in theaters, but yeah, that's it.
Oh, you're the guy going, Lisa Lagayib!
Yeah, I am. That's me.
You're Javier Bardem!
I also designed the Wormussy bucket too, so I'm gonna promote that. No, I'm just kidding. No, I don't have anything to promote. But yeah, everybody just watch the videos and always hit the like button, hit that fucking bell.
I play Shah-Hulud in the movie. I play.
Do you really?
I play Shah-Hulud, yeah.
Okay, yeah. I play Zendaya's character actually. I don't know the
Chani.
Okay.
Chani.
I need to watch the first one, so I could see the second one. I saw the first one, but it's been a while, so I want to watch it first. But yeah, that's
I play Batista's character, as you can tell from our very similar body types.
You do have the same physique now that you mention it.
Me and Batista are basically one and the same. You say Binder, I say Batista. Batista, Binder. Let's call the whole thing.
All right,
folks.
I just rated Cosmopolitics because I had it set up. And then Otto did it after a while.
Let me do it right now. All right, folks.
Yeah.
Oh, youtube.com/MattBinder. Subscribe to me there. Twitch.tv/MattBinder. Follow me there. Patreon.com/MattBinder if you would like to. And we will see you all next week. Hold on.
Take care, everyone.
Wait. Don't shut it off yet. I got to do the raid. Don't stop it yet. Hold on.
I won't.
8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, hold on. I'm pressing raid now. Cool.